Upside here, still negative territory right now for the market overall as we get into the heart of earnings for this week. Already a few tech names out, but ahead of some more big ones, to say the least, coming up tonight. We'll talk about that later on this morning. But here's the big one this morning. Spotify, absolutely monstrous, almost 14% to the upside this morning, off a much better than expected report. Forecast good for them as well. 336 right now, holding as support for Spotify. A number of economic data points to come this morning as well. Keep in mind, mostly around 10 o'clock, existing home sales for June, both on the month over month and year over year side of thing. Richmond Fed Manufacturing Index coming up at 10 o'clock this morning as well. We will get a 2-year note auction at 1 p.m. And that's about it. Later on this week, remember, GDP, PCE coming up at the end of the week, Thursday and Friday. We'll get two different looks. There's the overall market right now, downside a little bit here as we get going to the tune of about 0.25%. But we hold the gap yesterday and end the day back higher. We're trying to get back to that point this morning ahead of the big ones.
Oh, yeah.
After the close tonight.
Tesla and Google, huge. That's going to be all eyes on that. I'm going to be listening to the call, obviously, after the bell. I'm talking specifically about Tesla to see exactly what he says about Optimus, the Model 2, CapEx, the Gigafactory under construction in Monterey. Lots to talk about today, Brendo. General Motors blowing it out of the water. A second straight quarter where they did well, very well above expectations. As you mentioned, Spotify did very well as well. Google coming out overnight saying basically the IPO or the deal for Wiz, the $23 billion deal, is off the table.
Yeah.
And NXP Semiconductor reporting and not doing as well in China.
Yeah, I want to read more about that coming up this morning. I mean, whether or not that was on their side or on Google side, it sounds like it was on the side of Wiz saying thanks, but no thanks to $32 billion, which is, I mean, you were saying before we came on, it was, what was it, 4 years old?
2020, Brendo.
2020 is 4 years old. The company's 4 years old. They turned down that kind of money. Is absolutely insane. Here's Bitcoin right now, red on the daily chart. I should pull up ETH USD because that might be a little bit more in focus today, the day we get ETFs coming through for Ethereum. Lots to talk about. Good morning, guys.
Randy's already
It's the
here.
shirt. Rayburn put.
He has the shirt. Yeah, of course. Welcome, everybody. Randy's on board. No, that's the... Wait a minute. No, it's not
Different.
The
It
same
has
shirt.
the
It's different.
buttons.
Yeah, you can tell by the buttons.
Yeah.
But it's a similar shirt. Randy up here, and we're just talking about Crowdstrike a little bit. Right back up to 268 change, so that's a couple of points. The upside, not too bad. Oil was down. Well, I mean, energy names were down yesterday, so we're talking some XOM as well. But there's Crowdstrike up a couple of points here after a not very good couple of days. Yeah. I don't know, some things happened on Friday, apparently, that everyone's all interested in. But who cares? Tesla's earnings tonight, brother.
Yep, I'm waiting. I'm expecting good things.
I think Tesla should have a good number today.
After that, deliveries were good, so this has got to look good, right?
You know, I'm expecting some good numbers. Is it all going to be good? Probably not, but we'll wait and see. I'm expecting good things. The Highland refresh with the new cells is going to be interesting.
Okay.
It's not everywhere, but it is shipping. So let's see.
Per share.
I'm worried about the margins, maybe, because the margins have been under pressure. But
Yeah.
still, the delivery numbers were such a kick. They kicked butt. So we'll see if they can do it again. Tesla put the shorts to some hurt tonight, hopefully.
Yeah, I was just looking at it. 59 cents per share, almost 25 billion in revenue. So, wow, big numbers have to be hit here for sure. You like to see a pullback, like when we're looking at Tesla. You definitely like to see a pullback in the stock heading into earnings. So I think like now we might have that base down there around 240. So that looks really good. And then yeah, this stock could really blow up because if you somehow take out this 290, I mean 300, to add $50 on 250 would be huge. Let's see where we end the day. Like if you close the day today around 265, 270, which is very possible, up $10 here, then you're getting ready to break through. So like a good number, where does it really stop? And that's the issue here for traders shorting Tesla. But you still do have the same thing on the other way, right? And so this is why I think it's a wait and see. I don't think you step in and buy. I feel much more comfortable buying Alphabet ahead of earnings, but like Tesla loses this 240, then you say the same question again. Where do traders come in and buy? So I think it almost has $50 one way or the other from its open today, 300 or 200 by the time we talk tomorrow. So let's see what happens with Tesla. I'll find out the implied move later on. But yeah, good earnings. Good earnings last night and even this morning. Brendan and Sharif started the show sort of with Spotify. I'm out of this name, but wow, nice move to the upside here for Spotify, 14%. And again, look, see, it sets up pretty good coming into the earnings report. Has a couple down days, bounces a little bit, and then the report. That's good, right? You'd rather get in down here than it be trading at 336, but it was 330 yesterday. So that's a nice move there for Spotify. And then we had NXPI kind of going the other way. And we'll get to some of these trades, although this is not on our watch list.
No.
NX, which is kind of strange. NXPI down 8% there today. Yeah, there is a semiconductor.
8.7% expected move for Tesla.
Right, 8.7 for Tesla.
That'll probably, it moves a little bit by a percentage point or two, but 8.7, that could be a decent move, but maybe not. I don't know if it'll be enough to get us through that top if we push through. But
8.7%, ooh.
We know Tesla can do double digits, but it isn't all roses. That NXPI, the reason why Nvidia, I think, Nvidia is down 0.6%, AMD is down a little bit here. Like you're in an it was a flat market, and even then, it was only chips that were looking pretty weak. Tesla up that 1 point. But yeah, that NXPI, not great. Only UPS worse out of the earnings that we got last night. UPS got, actually, wait a minute, no. NXPI, UPS about the same. But last I checked, I think they were both down about 7.5%. So equally poor for the two of them.
A couple other things worth noting here this morning. Here's Coca-Cola gapping to the upside, almost back to highs, 65.60 right now. Very light on the volume side of things. Earnings to come from them. UPS was another one. Huge move downside on a forecast that was weaker than expected. We cleared that 134 level back to 132 right now, down significantly here for UPS this morning.
There's not a whole lot good to say about this report, Brendo. So here it is. Revenue down 1.1% year over year, and this is where it really hurts. Their adjusted EPS down almost 30% year over year, down to 1.79. 1.79. The consensus for the street was they were looking for essentially 1.99. The U.S. domestic segment is doing poorly. International segment is doing poorly. I mean, what else can we say here? They also lowered their full year guidance for 2024 down from around 93 billion. The street was looking for around 94.5. I guess one silver lining is they started a $1 billion share repurchase program. I really don't have much else to say good about this.
Yeah. I mean, it's typically not a day trading type of stock, but one that we look to for a sense of the overall state of the world and demand for their services. Here's, this is not earnings related, but pretty good look for Snapchat to start things off this morning, 2.6% to the upside. Decent volume behind that as well. Morgan Stanley over here with an upgrade on Snapchat this morning, going from underweight to equal weight, up to $16 on the price target for Snap, guys.
Well, see, I was going to start with a UPS and hit the old flat bottom break on UPS. So I was wrong. Like at one point, UPS was down the same as NXPI. Trust me, it was. But it just broke the lows, and that's once. And you probably several times through here, 133 change is broken down. You've lost the only level of support that it's had recently. So downward trending. It wasn't looking great before these earnings. So this is something that probably sets back up for a short into resistance. It's going to be SSR, but I don't feel the same way about a UPS as I would about like that whole Crowdstrike, catch the bounce. You look for certain types of names to make that play on. But I think as long as this is underneath that 133.5, maybe even just around 134, looks like a bit of a trend to the downside. We'll go over to Snapchat, and it's not a ton of volume, but hey, anything gapping up, which the lesson of the week was started off with some gappers, and sometimes it's gap and go. Sometimes you're gapping no. I don't want to say anything bad about Snapchat. Just needs to get through. I have like 1540 in here. It was already rejecting the you-know-what at a $17 and looked like it was in the midst of a consolidation underneath a prior support level. So what's back above that, I think you look for that previous top to be the bottom. If it can hold on to this, look for a rally. But there's so much to watch today. Yeah, it's a $15 stock with not even $1 million in pre-market volume. Tesla's in play today. You know the chips have been good. I'm going to be on Crowdstrike again because it's SSR again. So those are the first three things on my list. I'll probably be in some Tellurian. And you can't sleep on things like GM either and Apple. Oh, and one note, there was a few people that were asking about the Ether ETFs. So from the lists that I could find online, I see one of them trading for us, and that's like it's actually the grayscale mini one, and that's ETH on the Amex. ETHE is supposed to be their main. We don't have a quote for it just yet. So a lot of them are supposed to start trading. I think they're very uncreative names. The Van Eck one's supposed to be ETHV, so it should be relatively simple, but we won't have them probably until tomorrow, real trading.
Okay, so yeah, real trading talk about Snapchat as well, and yeah, hopefully we'll get those up, and we'll keep that all going. And ETHE, of course, with grayscale products moving over as well. Look, that bottom there at 1430. I don't know if that's going to happen today, but this is just a daily chart. So again, a lot of problems up here near 1750. I think that if you can get back up to that level, then we will definitely sell Snapchat. But right now, it is on the sticky note at 415 long. So we've just broken above here. It's that gap fill. It's not even a gap. It just, went from 16 down to 1450 on that nasty day, making its way all the way back now. And I feel that Morgan Stanley, although I don't really understand their upgrade, just citing better opportunity for advertising. I think if there's better opportunities for advertising in this space, and you want to look at Meta. But at the end of the day, here it is. It's a nice move to the upside. I think if you take 15 long, you're not in trouble until you get back to 1480 anyways. That's only 20 cents. Share size accordingly. I like it. Trying to break through the 200, has the 50-period support right now starting to turn upside. I mean, it's a good one, but this is what charts are going to look like when you get upgraded and you're up 3%. They're all going to look like this. So I don't know. I'm not yet convinced about Snapchat, but I do think it made the list. I think it's worth a look. It's up 3%. There's a little catalyst today. And in a market that doesn't have much catalyst, I can't really find out right now. I mean, I think Tesla can beat. I think Google can beat tonight. But we just saw UPS and some other names, NXPI starting to head downside again. So, yeah, definitely some names to look at. And for today, this is a long idea, Snapchat. I like it, don't love it.
Some of the other automakers moving around here, I was just hearing there's comments coming through from GM right now. Just be aware, CEO is speaking on the earnings call, but trying to move higher here once again for GM. There are a few going on right now, earnings calls, so just be aware if you're looking at anything with earnings, it could possibly fall under that category at the moment. We were talking about some of the banks yesterday. JP Morgan trying to get higher here this morning. ZION, not one we look at typically. Nice gap higher here on decent beat for them as well, up more than 1%. GE Healthcare was another one. GEHC came through with their report. Not really moving around this morning as well. So, I mean, the big two to come after the close tonight. We'll get into Google here. I mean, they're trying to move higher here this morning, but the action going to come after the close tonight.
Oh, certainly. Yeah, definitely want to hear about that. They're in the news today for a couple of reasons, obviously, with respect to the acquisition of Wiz being put on the sideline there, but they're also in focus for not removing cookies from Google Chrome. So other browsers have taken the initiative to kind of make the more private, so advertisers can't really follow you around as you browse. Google was reviewing their policy on whether to remove cookies and announcing overnight that they're going to stick with it. So that's much to the chagrin of many of the privacy advocates, Brenda. So we'll have to watch that.
Yeah, ahead of earnings, guys, typically a no-fly zone for a stock like Google.
Remember that.
Every time I think, just telling Sean, every time I think of cookies, because who talks about them as much anymore? I think of that the Wreck-It Ralph is the second one years ago, where they go into the internet.
Yeah. That is a fun one. That's a fun one.
There's the pop-up ads, they're like jumping up,
Yeah, I want to rewatch
stuff
that.
shady, and handing out free cookies. I don't like those. They're annoying. I don't think it's a huge story for Alphabet. They got to put up or shut up. I think they've done really, really well. I'm glad they participated a little bit late in the breakout that happened in all the Mag 7. And you're holding the 50 period here today. So with the approach that I would generally have for stocks like this going into earnings is to usually expect an inside day. and like have that inform the trading a little bit. So like yesterday, yeah, I don't know why I have all the way down 178. I think 180 is probably a more reasonable spot. I think I was looking at that yesterday when I drew this and then didn't take too close of a look or save it. 180, you had support to resistance, and then yesterday, right off the bat, it was bouncing off $180. I think maybe just keep it a little bit simple, and if we want to play off a support, that makes a lot of sense to me. It's clearly a key level, and sometimes you will have outsized moves before an earnings report. I just don't know that Google is the one that is going to do that. I think everyone's going to be in a bit of a wait-and-see mode. So if we do dip down into 180, that would be the only place that makes some sense to me. I think that could be an interesting one for sure. Obviously, tomorrow is going to be a big day, for Alphabet trading. No questions asked, and for Tesla. But it doesn't mean you can't try to find a key level. You just have to be patient for it. Like, I don't want to be trying to force things in Alphabet the day before earnings. When you have things that are moving into new ranges, you saw Snapchat with a gap up. You got Crowdstrike doing crazy things. You got NXPI and UPS that are both threatening double digits. Tesla, special case, because I think Tesla moves almost every single day. But Google, it's 180, or I probably don't trade it today.
Yeah, I mean, 180 could easily come in. I mean, it's at 182 right now. So, I mean, I feel like this is a name that, yeah, like flat today, market doing this, no real. I mean, sure, we had that whiz talk there, but that's fine. They weren't able to acquire them. They're going to go public. I feel like you can just acquire them when they go public anyways. So we don't know what that valuation is going to be coming at. So anyways, I think that's a fail for them, not being able to acquire something that you want. So I would say downside for Google on that kind of news. But again, like yesterday, we opened up with a nice move, and then that was basically it until we bottomed at noon, and then we just topped out again at 182.50. So I don't think anybody's running to the exits today before the earnings report, and I also don't think anybody's running to push that buy button. So it's my largest holding. I really like the stock. I'd buy a heck of a lot more on any kind of dips. I just don't know if it's going to happen. We're above the 50-period moving average. And to me, this is exactly what I talked about with Spotify. Nice moves down, bounce off, get yourself a nice day, then have an earnings report, and bang, right there back up to the upside. Because yesterday's little move of $4 or $5 gives it a little bit more of a cushion, so they can afford to miss and not get punished as badly. If that continues down through the 50 period and then they miss, they're probably down here somewhere. Now, again, hopefully, on a miss, they're down in and around 170 or so, but I really think that they could take out that top. So I like Google. I think it's one of the better names heading into earnings season. So for me, Google's a buy, but today, I don't know, maybe it's a wait and see.
We were just going through some of these Ethereum ETFs, and there are quotes at this point for a few, but I mean, volume is very light so far. I mean, definitely a much quieter launch than when we got the Bitcoin ones. We'll go back to the Grayscale one here. This is on, this is on, my chart is not updating. Day number one, anyways, for ETH, that's the mini Grayscale Ethereum mini trust, still on the NYSE Arca exchange. I mean, there's Bitwise Ethereum, there's Van Eck Ethereum, there's 21 shares Core Ethereum, CETH for that one, Invesco, Galaxy Ethereum, QETH, Fidelity, Franklin, iShares. You have BlackRock as well.
Yeah, the BlackRock one. I mean, the big kahunas are always trading IBIT on the big show. This is kind of the equivalent of IBIT. The BlackRock iShares ETHA is how it trades. It trades under the NASDAQ ETHA, trading at $26 and 2/3 right now, Brendel. But like you said, very light in volume.
Yeah, overall, crypto not really doing a heck of a lot this morning as far as the coins are concerned either. But worth a watch here today, guys.
Yeah, they got to be in the radar, and I mean Coinbase, the way its rally's got to be on the radar too. If you're trading the equity, but no real big follow through on ETH here on an hourly chart. You can see it kind of double topped in there. We're sitting right at 35,000, so you're holding the top end of the range. The idea of sell the news, I mean, it hasn't really matriculated. That would be the first place that I would lean to. Like if you're not breaking the high. When these come to market and there isn't a ton of volume on them, I don't wonder if there isn't a sell the news event, but you can't will a move into existence. You can see we're not really doing much here on ETH. That said, I mean, Coinbase has been moving around a lot. So yesterday pulled back into a 254, 255 support before getting back up to that, big 64 level. And it still hasn't closed above to continue the breakout. There's Randy again. But, if it gets above like 265, there's room above here on Coinbase. That 55 looks like a support level. So if it is a sell the news event, I think 255 is where Coinbase can be headed. Oh, the banana action. I always keep forgetting to get the fruit. I mean, I'm not going to say no.
I'll take a banana too.
Yeah.
Thanks for asking, Randy. Very, very
And a banana cognac as well. Ramin would like.
Ramin also wants a banana.
I don't know if.
Bring all the bananas over here immediately,
the
if
whole
possible.
bushel.
There was.
You call it a bushel.
There was a lot of bananas there. I actually already had one, so if I was just gonna take it.
Yeah, they're good for you, so it's not like.
All right, Adara, you like bananas?
I don't really have tons of thoughts on bananas, but there are lots of things to talk about here on this upgrades and downgrades list. On a day where we're already looking at some crypto with regards to the Ethereum ETFs, we have an upgrade for Coinbase coming through from Citigroup. Snapchat, we discussed this upgrade here from Morgan Stanley to equal weight with a $16 price target. We have Skechers getting an upgrade here from Morgan Stanley. They report earnings pretty soon here. And we also have Colgate-Palmolive getting a TD Cowen upgrade. On the downgrade side, second day in a row here with a negative analyst note for Crowdstrike. This one coming through from SPCE with a downgrade and a $302 price target. We have Under Armour getting a Morgan Stanley downgrade. We have Johnson & Johnson here getting downgraded by Daiwa Securities. They reported earnings last week. And last but not least, Raymond James downgrading Canada Goose down about 2% right now on the day. Some pretty interesting names on this list here, guys.
You could actually make a pretty decent case that Canada Goose is last amongst those 8 names on the board there. Thank you very much, Randy. Appreciate you. We'll save that bad boy for later. That's what it's all about here. That Goose's chart looks like Goose is cooked, as far as I'm concerned. That's nasty, man.
How come we half the time Adara just talks for everything, but then has nothing to say about bananas?
Not for everybody, I suppose. I mean,
weird.
I got an opinion on. I can have all food.
Not my problem.
Like if I'll at least be like, yo, I love that. Anything, I don't care. But yeah, Canada Goose, nasty, doesn't look very good. We're gonna talk obviously a little bit about CrowdStrike. Let's be real. But if you happen to be looking at this stock, they got an upgrade. It was last week there was an upgrade, and we're like, why are they getting one out of season? It doesn't look very great for them. I don't know if there's gonna be much of a trade in here. It's not really a day trading stock. That said, I mean, it just broke under here. And if you were, like, the funny thing about it is, like, stocks that trend down, if you're a short seller, you could always swing shorts in stocks that trend down, I suppose. And it just lost a 200 period moving average. It just broke support at 1180, although it's right at that price, so it hasn't completely failed it. Not a great look here for Canada Goose. I'm sure they'll pick it up in the fall ahead of the winter season, but yeah, I don't like that at all. Don't want to put up the O Canada when they're failing like this.
Yeah, we don't want to do that. And Ramin, you can come and I will give you my banana because Randy forgot to bring another one. So I will sacrifice the banana. No, you cannot. You can just have it. It's fine. Don't even worry about it. Potassium is very overrated. All right. So I was just in the middle of doing my sticky note here. What are we even talking about? All right. On that note, back to the desk.
All right, a few other things to consider here this morning as we head towards 9 o'clock. I mean, there's a ton of analyst moves on some of these earnings names. I was just listening to a couple of more comments coming through from GM's call still going on, but UPS, I mean, we already touched on it a little bit there, but there's a long list of analyst moves on this one. Just made a new low back to 129 to the downside this morning. They're actually still coming in here for UPS, FedEx under pressure on that as well. Not anywhere near as big. This daily chart actually still looks pretty good here for FTX.
Yeah, I mean, it's a sympathy play. We'll have to keep an eye on that. These two companies are bellwethers of the entire market. If, there's a lot of commerce, especially online commerce, you're going to see that reflected in their balance sheet. And so, we've been hearing a lot about the consumer really not spending as much, at least on goods, maybe more on services. So we'll have to watch these two because it's a bit of a concerning look, especially because it was international and U.S., Brenda. They weren't really spared from either sector.
Yeah, Coca-Cola, guys, also with a earnings call on currently. Yeah, 851 was the last comment that just came through there. Back higher here for Coke today.
Yeah, man, UPS down another 1.5. Since we just talked about this 10 minutes ago after that flat bottom break, and it's still moving downside. So it's going to be SSR at the open, down 11%. So there's 134. There's a flat bottom break. I don't know if we get a chance to trade at that price again, but support to resistance always makes a heck of a lot of sense to me. Someone in the chat was asking why Disney was down. I was just checking, and Disney's down a couple of points, and I couldn't figure out a specific reason. That might be worth keeping an eye on. There's not a ton that's moving a lot, but that one could be on radar. Coke, great stock. Don't know if it's ever too much of a trade. The volume not very good on this. And I look over at like 64. I know the call's happening, so you get the move up, good report, and all that, starting to pull back in. Until it's over and until you get to like 930, I don't think you want to touch this. I'd be looking at 64.30, pretty clear price. Pretty obvious level, yesterday's bottom. But as I just said, just popping onto my radar, like Disney fell yesterday, falling again today, and like it's really like I don't want to say it's accelerating because but the volume is picking up on this move down. And it was such a key price on Disney back at the beginning of the year, like $88, $89 was the bounce zone, and then going into that blowout in February. So this could get here in the next day or two, this key 88, 89 level for a bounce play on Disney. So shout out in the chat, a couple people were pointing this out. Taco, sky's the limit, possible strike is the news. Well, it's been rolling over for 4 days. I think if it gets down to like at 89, 90, Disney's going to be on the radar today.
Yeah, that strike is a couple days old, but that's why you got to take out profit when stocks go up like that, especially a stock like Disney that had some of that Nelson Peltz love back into it. GM, a good. I mean, we're going to get to all this, I guess. I mean, what is even the time here? It's only 8:57 on my. Yeah, $50 going to come into play for GM as well. So we'll talk about this coming up soon. But this is another one that's come back in quite nicely off of their initial bump. So GM gets to 52 and change, and now is back in, coming through, back down into $50. A quick little look at our our balance locator here on earnings day again. Palantir with a small sell, BAC with a sell again. There's your Disney's on there as well, down to $92. NIO, I mean, it's a mixed bag. I mean, all the ones I'm looking at seem to be sells. We bought Nike recently down at $72. That seems to be working out as well. So that looks like that could be a good trade there. And then Ford. So Ford, gets that bump up from GM again. We came in this morning. I was like, oh, good. Ford is up, and now it's not. Now it's flat to, if not going red. Just after a couple more prints here, because red will be 14.10.
Ooh.
So you're getting close to that with momentum going back down to the downside. So yeah, man, so far so good here as we go on Ford and GM, but pulling back in some of these earnings names, and Spotify, the last earnings name, not pulling in that much, still up that 14% and holding highs. So quick little look there at a couple earnings plays.
Chinese ADRs downside here this morning, 3 days in a row on a bounce. We had that note yesterday on more detail anyways on the Volkswagen Xpeng tie up 3.8%. Meanwhile, this morning, Asian markets overnight were also in negative territory, but nice day for this one yesterday, back to $9. Heading south in a hurry this morning, trying to give some of that back. I mean, the rest of them, this is very, very light volume. The rest of them not really doing much either.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at this. XPEP down 4%, Li Auto 3%. We'll have to keep an eye on this because we saw the Chinese regulator cut interest rates yesterday in many different areas of the market. The shorter dated bond, I believe, they cut on, as well as some longer dated names. So, trying to add some liquidity into the market, but it just looks like the Chinese consumer is tapped out at this point.
Yeah, this Volkswagen thing should be good, obviously, for Xpeng, but still a ways away, unfortunately, before we get an actual car on the road. Let's have a look at the overall market here as well as we get going at 9 o'clock. So
we defended 5,600 yesterday, at least on a closing basis. We were able to close above that. 56.10 was the closing print. You can see the overnight high is 56.18. I'm going to go ahead and say that 56 1/3, where we had a lot of consolidation going all the way back to July 8th until we broke down below it July 18th. 56.37 as resistance. Let's see if we can hold 5,600. If we don't, we're looking at 55.50.
Get ready after the close tonight. Tesla and Alphabet to come. They will headline on the earnings side of things. If you haven't done so yet, Go down to the description of this video right now. Hit the link for the watch list, enter your email address, and then you get the absolutely free every single day watch list delivered right to your inbox. Yeah, Alphabet, Tesla going to headline tonight. We'll talk about a few this morning here already out, including Spotify. I was just going through this note real quick here. I mean, like you said early on, there's not much negative to talk about here for Spotify. It was a beat right across the board. Forecast great as well.
I mean, everything's chugging along here. They're premium subs. They added 7 million of those. If you don't want that monthly recurring payment, well, you can get onto the ad tier. They grew that as well, 15% year over year. Revenue grew 20% year over year. EPS beat $1.43. The street was looking for $1.15. I mean, I can go on, Brendo. ARPU, average revenue per user, up 8% year over year because they raised rates. I know, because this guy's paying more over here. I mean, everything's really on the up and up, and they guided a bit higher too, 4.31 billion.
Yeah, 626 million active monthly users now for Spotify, guys. Looks great.
When all your growth is in the 2 digits instead of 1, that tends to bode well for you. So all time, well, I mean, it's just breaking out. So blue sky setup, let's call it that. Volume's actually pretty good, relative volume for a spot here. And when you look at the normal theme, previous top was on a closing basis, you had about 327. You're always going to get wicks higher. So that 327 to 330, when you're shooting for any kind of a first support, it's going to be underneath. It's underneath VWAP, but that's like here to there. So if it comes down into that price, that's where I'd be looking for a potential dip there in Spotify. I think you want this one to settle down after the open. Like make it show you the level. Are there buyers down there that you can dig into, as opposed to trying to find some kind of a trade tight inside of a range that's unlikely to hold. So up 15% when overall the market's been a little bit iffy today. I don't wonder if it's more of a dip, maybe break that VWAP, get into the previous high, and then it has a chance to go. But yeah, nothing but love. The chart looks fantastic. I think just on the breakout at that 15% mark, decent chance at continuation. I felt like the expected move was 11 point. It might have been 11%, but I have to double check that. I'm pretty sure it's 14 and a half. It's more than was expected by about 3 points. It might have been a little bit less than that, but either way, that's why I'd be looking for a long play, but not up at the top.
Look, so for me, it's pretty simple here. I wrote down Spotify dip buy to past highs 330. I mean, I think it's pretty simple. We've written it down here on the sticky note. I like it. We don't normally have earnings plays on here, but in what is a slow day, I mean, we sometimes do. In what was a slow day, we'll have both GM and Spotify. GM's coming back in a lot quicker than that. Look, it's past high is 330. I just feel like that's a great level, though, to start the buying. And why not? It could easily dip into that. Like in 2 seconds, right off the open, we could get that move back in. Up 14.5%. Look, I mean, I sold mine in here at 310. I'm out of Spotify, but it continues to work. Again, nice move in. I think this is, I talked about it was similar to Google, but this was much more dramatic. This actually broke its 50-period moving average and wasn't looking that great, but now saved. So I think you can go ahead and buy this. If you still own this in your own account, I think you can hold it. I don't think there's any reason to sort of fly off Spotify for sure. Like Brendan said, increased users. I mean, this is what the street wants. When you have a subscription business, you want to keep your base going and add. And that's exactly what they're doing with podcasts, with audiobooks, all this kind of stuff that they're having there, videos, everything on the platform. It's great. I'm an Apple music guy, so I have that, but I used to be Spotify. Like the program, like everything, up 15%. The market likes it. This is a dip buy opportunity in what might not be littered full of opportunities today, but you're already seeing the move. I mean, we just went up. We were talking about this at 336 or whatever it was. Yeah, and then now it's almost pushing 340. So, oh man, this might just be something that you have to either buy right away off the open, or we be very, very patient with it and try to trade it off of VWAP. We don't necessarily just go long because volume weighted average price is there. This is where we're going to have to take a look to see as we open up. I mean, right now it's very condensed. It looks silly right now looking at it. I mean, we could zoom in and make it look a little bit. No, we can't because we have that wick there. Okay, I'll clean that up. But at the end of the day, it's going to be VWAP trade probably to 335. But if we do get that ultimate swoop down, then we'll look at it 330. So thanks for zooming in, Ramin.
Like the anti-CEO. Speaking of dip buy opportunities, we might have had one here this morning on Nvidia, already trying to get back above 123, holding right now. In fact, back above 123 now, just 0.3 to the downside. Yeah, NXP with earnings, kind of mixed result. Really not a lot to look at as far as price action. It is down, NXPI downside this morning. The rest of the group kind of just chopping around here inside of what happened yesterday.
So NXPI is not one that we typically trade or even look on the show, but it was important to me for one specific reason, because it has a huge Chinese exposure. A third of their total revenue comes out of China. So how they do kind of may be reflective of how the North American companies are dealing, or chip companies specifically are dealing with China. So here's a look. Very down about 6 2/3, was down 9% at a time in the morning here due to disappointing Q3 revenue forecast. They're guiding about 3.15 billion to 3 1/3 below the analyst expectations. Automotive revenue fell 7% year over year, but they do have decent growth with their mobile AI chips that they're trying to build. So we'll keep an eye on this one, but I liked it for the Chinese exposure.
Yeah, I mean, I just checked, 120,000 just... It's fire alarm testing day. We'll just get that out of the way right away. So just be aware there's going to be some noise in the background here for the next little while. 120,000-ish shares traded so far on NXPI, so not really that attractive right now.
No, and I think a lot of people, if you're trading in the chip names, maybe use this for a little bit of caution for NXPI overall in the space, but as a vehicle to trade, I mean, it does have support that might turn to resistance at 265 in here. When the chart looks like this, typically liquidity is a large concern. When it's so very cleanly technical, and you can see like just little volume, and then you get big spikes at the close. So all the action happens in the auction, the closing auction for NXPI. But never fear. I mean, there's other things to trade. That's the good part about it. And you know we're going to have an opportunity here. Some continuation in Nvidia and AMD are the two that I'm looking at today. I think pretty simple. You're still above that 122.5 was a weird one. It was an early move that got faded deeply, but then reclaimed in the afternoon, 122.5. So it held eventually afternoon support. It's a pre-market low. If you lose that, you've got the 120 level. Those are the two obvious spots there for Nvidia, barring the 117, which I don't think we see today. And I'm still bearish in this range on AMD until it breaks out this like 158 area. So on a pop, just want to be more patient with it. I wasn't very patient in the morning with AMD short. We're patient with our Crowdstrike longs, but not the AMD short. So if it gets back up to that 157, I just want to have a little more patience. Let it get up in that range, show a curl, and then get the short on the back end. If it's just screaming to the upside, I don't want to just stand out in front of it, stick an order at the level, and stick stop, and then leave it at that. So you have to trade a little bit higher. We're at 150, 155 essentially. It's got to go up a couple of bucks for AMD to get back in that fade zone. And it's not exactly yesterday's high. The resistance is more like 157.70 up here. So you got to give it some room. It has to break into that 57 range, come out the bottom end, and then look for the short on AMD just like yesterday.
Look, I mean, we're putting on trades for you guys, and yesterday we are 7-1, and Nvidia was the start of everything yesterday. Drops down into 120, and then absolutely blasts up into 123. So we're $3 in the money in the first 20 minutes on this stock. So yeah, we're going to continue to look over here as well today, and it's on today's sticky note as well. And it was on yesterday's sticky note. I mean, it was all over the place. I can show you yesterday, show you today. Today, 121. Why not? Just a dip buy spot here. I think we can watch that. It has to keep on watch. That's basically all that we wrote down, was just try to play some dips. And we already stopped at 122.50. I mean, this is going to be real trading. There's going to be others that will talk about key levels and things like that. But you got to put your trades on. And when they come through, where are you going to actually buy the stock? Where are you actually going to try to make money? And I just think down here, 121, this has to be a spot that you have to look at. We started yesterday with a move to 120.50. It wasn't even. It went down about 70, 80 cents. Today, however, we don't have the 200 period support. We're already off of a nice day. I wonder if we can actually drop into a little bit further than where we did yesterday. Yesterday was a very, very quick move back up to the upside. I'm thinking with the NASDAQ starting a little low today, potentially Nvidia could play some catch up. Let's try to wait for 121. And then again, the next name we want to talk about is going to be Intel. And again, Intel could be my second name too. I mean, we talked about the Qs being my first name for this month, trading the futures. Intel could be number 2. And I think today we're not going to ignore it. Yesterday we talked about 32.75 as being the bottom. We nailed that to the exact penny yesterday. And we put that out because of what it's been doing here on the daily. It was just kind of barcoding like this. We saw some dip down opportunities. It held 32.75 the day before. It held it yesterday. So for me, I want to play any kind of strength in Intel. I'm already sitting here at 33.40. So this is the number one idea today on the sticky note, is to go short on Intel. We had a nice day yesterday. It couldn't go with Kamala Harris news. That should have been positive for tech. It was, but Intel for some reason getting hit there again, as it's kind of like a pro-Trump stock. So if Donald, the odds are getting worse for the Republican Party according to Vegas, then it looks like Intel could be that short that we're looking for. So again, trying to put on real trades, I think Intel here at 33.40.
Here's GM downside now negative on the morning to the tune of 0.12. This was one of the comments that kind of kicked off this selling on the call this morning. That reversed most of this move. 52 was that consolidation area. We're back below $50 now. But yeah, they're going to delay the Buick EVs and EV pickup plant until 2026 for cost effectiveness.
Yeah, well, they continue to struggle here with EVs losing a lot of money per vehicle, to the tune of around $50,000. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Now, separate from the earnings call, because I haven't had an opportunity to review that, revenue around $48 billion, beating the street's expectations of $45.5. Earnings per share, the EPS coming in well above what the street was looking for. The street was looking for $2.25. They printed $3.06. Net income up 14.3% year over year as they shore up costs there. Despite the new agreement with the union, they were able to print $2.93 billion, essentially $3 billion of profit on the quarter, Brendo. So it's a good look here. North American operations really led the surge, driven by strong truck sales, and they are losing about $50,000 per EV. Yeah, sorry.
Fine.
Thank you for the coffee, Randy.
Randy on fire today.
We're talking about London, England.
Jolly old London, England, where Sean is going to be going.
Yep.
So going to enjoy that one.
The Rezzo's going. We're going to be having a drink at the Bank of England. Apparently, there's a nice bar there.
Dirty Dick's.
Okay.
Oldest pub.
All right. Yeah. We have a lot. We have a bunch of places that we're going to. Some sort of some wicked rooftops, and we'll go to Dirty Dick's.
Apparently, yeah. There you go.
Always interesting. All right, so GM beats. All right, so look, I mean, I was just looking at this. It's already getting kicked. I mean, GM just all the way to the downside right now. 1.37%. We were looking at it at $50. Well, that's gone now. So now we just flip it over and go 50 short. I think it's a pretty simple trade right now. The market does not like this report. They do not like the call. It is downside right there. Bye-bye, GM. Look, I already told you there's only one company that actually makes cars making any money these days, and it's going to be, I mean, they're making money, but on the EV side, so no surprise here that you talked about Buick. I mean, I guess Ford, I feel like, threw in the towel a little bit earlier on some of these ideas. I don't think GM necessarily needs to do that, and as we don't hear what's happening with the call, it's not good, right? 48.50, so it's giving up $4 right now from 52.50 where it was when we came in today. So not a great little move there, and giving it up. So not good. Like, it was already at its highs. And remember what we talked about with respect to how charts look into earnings? Look at this name. It was at its highs. So it needed something real good to keep going. It's not like it was beat up and it was down here and then we could see it get back. It was already at its highs. So this name now gives back. So unfortunately, 46.50, I think, is where there's a buy in GM. And it's sad to see that, but GM heading back down to the downside.
Yeah, that 50-period moving average is at 46.50. So, you know, that's going to stand out. The only other chance for a bounce, I think, might be 48, and that's just because 2 days in a row you held 48. So let this thing settle down. Obviously, when the call comes on, it doesn't matter what you think on the initial report. Wait for that earnings call in the morning. I don't know that I want to trade this one anymore. Like, to me, I liked it when it was trading outside of the range and challenging above. And then you could look for like dip buys, continuations, and all that. But I think unless it breaks that 48 downside, I don't know if I'm going to have much of a trade there. And it kind of makes me half glad that I sold some of my Ford shares, or actually the bulk of my remaining Ford shares. We'll see what Ford does with its low in sympathy. That could be if GM just continues to flush the downside. I don't wonder if like a sympathy dip in Ford might end up being a trade at its low. It might be a little bit less volatile today than GM. You don't have to worry about that extra bit of volatility. But I'm going to keep an eye. If GM breaks that 48, and I don't like what I'm seeing there anymore, I might go over and see if Ford has some support at its low from yesterday. Good V-shaped recovery for Ford going into those earnings. And now they're still flat on the session.
All right, let's go to Snapchat. We mentioned early on, if you're with us at 8:30 this morning, Morgan Stanley with a positive note on this one. Not earnings related, worth noting, but up here nicely, 2.7% back to 1520 with an upgrade from Morgan Stanley again on Snap.
Yeah, I can't really see, Brendo, why they upgraded this, but we'll have to keep an eye out for that. I mean, this has been a buyout target for quite some time. They've improved their advertising revenue a little bit. We saw them bump up with Meta earlier in the year when Meta reported better than expected ad revenue, digital ad revenue. So we'll keep an eye on them. Morgan likes them. We'll definitely they'll definitely be in play today for a trade.
Just going to double check on earnings for this one, but we did have a recent move downside, guys, back to holding that last support anyways for Snap.
Okay, so we'll get to them a quick second. For those asking what just happened to Serve Robotics announced they're pricing a $15 million private placement. So what goes up, sometimes this is going to happen. That's this drop in SERV down 10%. Private placement, $15 million. It was a runner the last couple of days, and taking a little advantage of that. Still above its price from 2 days ago is SERV, but that's the reason for the drop in Serve. Same thing with the difference between GM and Snapchat. Well, I mean, GM's an earnings play. I guess that's one big difference. But the difference is Snapchat is still above its previous resistance level. So you're gapping above and still holding above it. Decent, but not tremendous pre-market volume. It's not breaking out the top. I like the 1480, 1478s where it closed. I think try to keep it a little bit simple in there. Going to be adjusting on the fly to GM when it couldn't hold above 50. But Snapchat's still very much in the pocket. I don't know if I'm going to pay for locates on that Serve. And there's been a few questions about AMC. We'll get to those at the end of the rundown.
All right. Snapchat. So Snapchat is on the watch list and on the sticky note today, and it's a 15 buy. But I'm thinking actually pretty bearish about this market here. I don't know. I just got a feeling that today, not sure if we're going to be up today. But dip buys into the 200 period moving average. I mean, that was 15. Felt like yesterday's 1480 seems to be a good spot there. I don't have a bid at 15. I'm almost feeling like we could dip down into this area, 1490, 1485, something like that, and then look to buy some Snapchat. But again, it's a name that's up today on an upgrade. I like the stock, but it's been hit pretty good. I'd like to say get that garbage out of here, but I don't know, man. That's a couple times in a row now that we've come up to this $17 mark and really gotten hit off of it. This goes all the way back to January and December. So, yeah, that looks like a top. I mean, until earnings come through for them, I'm not sure we get back up there anytime soon. But it's nice. Maybe this down here, 14, is definitely a buy if we can hold that one more time. But, yeah, generally speaking, when you break the 50 period, you do like to come down and test the 200. So that's what happened here. Came right back in, tested it, and bounced, basically. So this one breaks it again on that. But this is tough because that was such a bad day for tech, right? So it breaks it, but doesn't get all the way to 1350. So I would have liked it to sort of get closer to that level, but 14's not bad. So this could be on its way back up, so we're going to buy it. So breaking through $15 today is a key level. We'll see if Snapchat can hold it. Generally, there's the imbalances. Generally, there are some imbalances here for Snapchat. It's an NYSE stock. I don't see anything on here for today for Snapchat. So for me, I'm going to have to wait and see, but I don't have any bids yet. But definitely on the radar. It's on the sticky note for something to look at. That's Snapchat. Again, like the stock, but the level, not sure it's one to be putting a whole bunch of shares on quite yet.
All right, I need to zoom out on Crowd to get a perspective of what this has done in the past week and a half, coming off this tech outage from last week all the way back to 269, 270. It was 13% yesterday. It was on top of 8% to the downside last week, trying to bounce here now, but we're already giving back some of this. Just 1.82 right now for Crowd.
Yeah. So here's a look. We're up 70% year over year, but we're only up 5% now year to date as we give back the majority of the year to date gains. There's issues here that are going to be going forward. So when we look at the EPS, the guidance that they've given, we have to fundamentally change our outlook on that because they're going to be paying through the nose here in terms of paying vendors, their own customers, for the outages. So each one has an individual contract, and each contract basically governs how much each vendor is going to get back. There's also the issue of, the tarnishing the brand, the reputation. So new customer acquisitions also have to be looked at with a healthy degree of skepticism here. So it's a tough look. Some analysts still calling this the gold standard, and some analysts saying, this is going to be a really tough year for them. So we'll see.
Yeah, more downside possible, guys, for Crowd today.
I mean, it's always possible that you're going to get another dip in. I love the fact that, you found a little bit of a temporary bottom in there yesterday. Still, if you zoom further out, the next big level is like 240, 245, like somewhere in that range if we lose this 260. So there's a lot to the downside that you could expect in terms of movement if we were to lose this key support. Yesterday, the plan of action was pretty simple. Every $5, look SSR bounce, doesn't work, back out. It went another 10% down, so it's going to be short sell restricted on a continuation again. Ooh, wicks on my 15 minutes. Let's go to the 3. You're already trading closer to 270. So you have 265 was a big level. If we dip down into there, I would look for another bounce play. And then you've got yesterday's low in 260. VWAP, I'll play that by ear at the open. If it can hold like a 267, I'm just going to be looking for buyers at those even dollar levels. A wick underneath or a clean bounce off, looking to punch through on a higher low and then carry a trade into the high there. As far as any levels that I would be looking for a short, unless it's this spot, 275, 276, not really seeing it. So we're going to go dip by hunting SSR day 3 for Crowdstrike, and maybe this is the day it doesn't close more than 10% down. It was a better short than it was a long yesterday, but as long as you picked your spots after the open, there were plenty of available dips to make money on for sure. You just had to be willing to get out tight and only get it when it was bouncing off those key levels and then just enjoy the ride.
All right. Yeah, look, Crowdstrike, we bought some yesterday. We talked about that at 265. Let's see if that can hold again here today. So 268.85. I don't think the downside is done yet, but I feel, and we talked about this yesterday, if you're building portfolios for the long term, I've never been into Crowdstrike, so I'm going to start it right now. So a good little level I feel like to do that is right here. We'll see if it can continue to go down. We'll buy some more if it does. But 240 coming into play there for Crowdstrike could definitely be something to look at. I still hold on to PAN-W, of course, as a bigger position. Well, I was going to say bigger position in the security space, but obviously it's bigger than Crowd as I just started that. Hasn't really benefited too much from that move. I mean, I thought maybe this would have been broken through if people sort of moved from Crowd over to PAN-W, but that hasn't happened yet. And then so that reminds me of the Hack ETF. So it's right here. This is an ETF that you can buy if you want to get into the cybersecurity game. So this is cybersecurity ETF holding Fortinet, all the names. There's some Cisco, whatever. You can look up what the holdings are. PAN-W, Sentinel-1, everything like that. So the Hack ETF downside right there, but still above the 50-period moving average. So if you like the space, you should like this stock. All right, what's up, Sharif?
We're talking about breakaway gaps today, Sean. That's the one that breaks out of resistance and support. So if you're into that kind of thing, make sure to check that out with Adair and I on How to Trade at 11.
Promise we talk a little bit about AMC. AMC moved yesterday in the afternoon show on essentially some debt restructuring, utilizing their theaters. You're going to see it was a pullback. Look, it halted to the upside and then actually opened higher. So good if you had the original halt and the breakout there. Then the support came right in at that top 515 on AMC. So resistance, halt price, and then turned into support right in the afternoon. So it's holding on to that 515 level. I said at the end of the show, like, unless it's doing something crazy, that would be the only level I would look at in the morning. Either it holds on to that immediately, look for a dip and a rip, continuation for AMC. The volume, not tremendous, but it's been forming a pretty decent wedge, where we saw GameStop do this, where it wasn't doing much, forming a wedge, and then all you need is one little breakout. So this is where I'm looking on AMC. It's pretty obvious. I mean, come on, halt price, resistance, even in the pre-market, it's been bouncing off those teens. So that's what I will be waiting for on this. I don't think we mentioned anything about Apple. Big cap tech names, sort of always in play. There we go. And Apple, 3 days in a row now, 222.5 has been the bottom for Apple. I think if we press that and lose that bid, Apple has some room to the downside. I'll zoom out a bit further, you can sort of see. But until it breaks, there's been one spot really that was worth buying Apple in the last 3 sessions, which has been a little bit heavy. And it's been that 222.5 or just a little bit above it. So that's going to be on radar as well.
2150. Ooh. Okay, we're getting ready to rock and roll here as we get Nvidia on our mind again. I mean, like we said, big time stock yesterday. Why not hit it again here today? Let's see if there's been any updates here with the market on balance. So right there, 121 for Apple does spike it up nicely, actually up about 80 cents right there on that play, on that market buy. We'll see if it does come through. Intel continuously is a sell again. We've already marked it as a sell, so if Kathy Wood's watching again, she's probably already selling this. All right, so there's that. Nvidia's the buy, so again, we like the buy. Everything we like is here, and in the same way that we wrote it down. So we're going to have to try to wait to see if something else can come in. I don't see too much else there. TSM with a buy. Again, just trying to look at some names that might be in play for all of us, and that's about it. I do still like, and I don't want to ignore it, but it's not on my radar too much because there isn't, too many catalysts here. But Palantir, again, a stock that we talked about looking at the last couple days, and we've hit it, and we've hit it pretty good, that's for sure, but not yesterday, and we should have, again, down here at that 2750. I mean, what the heck was this? Right off the open there, nice little move down for Palantir, came right into this spot. I like this 2750, but not if we break it, right? I mean, those bottom wicks there is 45s, so you got to look out for something like that, because if you break that, then you probably are getting into 27, right? So don't make a 25 to 30 cent trade turn out to be a 70-cent hit. So just be careful if you are looking at Palantir. I do like that buy, and I'm already sitting here to buy it. So if it does come in on what I think could be a negative day, Palantir's already down 0.7. I can see Palantir coming in today into this area. So let's wait and see. And I'm actually going to, now that I think about this, I'm actually going to lower the amount of shares that I have at 75 right now. Now down 1%. I mean, it's just ticking around. It was just down 1% there. So watch out now. 10-cent spread. That's a lot for Palantir. Yeah. And then the other trade that I'm looking for now, which there it goes. Man, damn you, Kathy. Honestly, that's the last time. I put on here that we've been crushing Intel. I put on here that we wanted Intel short. Now there goes Intel to the downside. Next time we take the positions beforehand. And of course, Kathy Wood not selling on that. I don't even know if she is selling, but there goes Intel, man. Right back in. Anybody that was like, oh, I missed the Intel trade, did you? It went up to $37.50, right back to $32. Take this bid somewhere here and see if you can work with it, Intel. But for me, I had 2 pending trades, man. The Intel offer at $33.40. Like, we wrote the sticky note down when we were up here, $33.30. We should have just took the trade then. We waited for 10 extra cents. Bad decision here. Let's see if Intel can still come in, man. Let's not get too many YOLO feelings on this one, or FOMO. And then we'll wait to see if we can YOLO a trade. It might be with Nvidia. But again, we already said the market. I'm feeling like it's going to be heavy today. So watch out for some sell ideas, which would just be Intel on here and then GM as well.
Yeah, 1 minute ago, I didn't see it on the locator, but there was a spike in Amazon just now. Intel went down, but it was on there for a sell. And Amazon, I did not see for a buy, but a bit of a spike, about $1.50 to the upside. I double checked to see if Apple was still, no, Apple actually bouncing a little bit there. Again, not a gigantic imbalance. Eyeballs are going to be as usual. Crowdstrike, Tesla, Nvidia in play, Snapchat. GM is going to be a play it by ear for me, and do not, you don't want to sleep on Spotify. It's still not doing much of anything here, but I suspect up that 14%, this should move today. I'd be a little bit surprised if it just stayed inside on Spotify. So at the open, make sure you're locked and loaded. Going to be patient with my AMD short. That's a short to pop, not short to breakdown. Let's be very, very patient with it on this Tuesday as we get the countdown started here. ADRA in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ring it. Oh, staying aggressive and loud. I like it.
All right. Let's see if Intel does have a little bit of a pop-up here. I mean, we're still watching out for some Nvidia. We're watching out for some Intel as well. Yeah, not GM. All right, so GM trying to bounce a little bit off 49 as well. Intel, I feel like that's short. I mean, VWAP is right here at 33.05. Or sorry, 33.15, not 05. That could be a level there, 33.15. I'm going to put an offer just in case we get up into that area, 33.15 or so. For Intel, early trade look there, Palantir going up.
Yeah, Crowdstrike already starting to test down here, so 265 about to come in play. They don't waste any time selling into Crowdstrike. It's attempting a bounce here off 265 even. Just want to see any buying step into this. Not much yet, not much yet. Now they're starting to come. Just try to get, nope, did not get filled. Tried to cross up into the 30s there and did not get the fill. Let's see if I get picked up. It's so fast down to that 265. Old man hands might have missed it, but we'll give it a chance. It's only at 266. There's always a possibility it swipes back down here to get a fill. Not a lot moving off the open. Snapchat not doing anything. Nvidia not doing a heck of a lot of anything. So it's just Crowdstrike off 265 trying to pick it up here.
All right, I'm going to try to buy Palantir through 2860 right here. If Palantir can break a little bit higher, we will. Try to grab that. So let's see if that is a possibility here. 2860 coming through on Palantir. We'll see if that does come in. Nvidia is doing absolutely nothing as well. Let's go over to another trade that we had an idea on, which is Snapchat. It is down here at 15 right now, right here, right now. But like I said, I was not really loving this trade. Wanted to see the action at 15. So here it is. It's right here. Let's view it, man. It's down to the 200 period and starting to come down. The market is also coming down.
GM is tanking.
Yeah, damn you, Intel. Right there as that continues a lower push now. I'm going to get a little bit here of this name and see if we can short it through 33. But we'll start the offering now at 32.88. This is just something to get involved with. Let's see if it goes. Again, we probably have more shares than many, but we will just sit here and wait for it. Not a full position for me. We'll try to scalp it out if it does come back in. Just take little by little here. We've missed the move right now. Up, you know, I mean, it's just came right back in. 30 pennies to the downside. So let's just short a little bit here and see if that works. Here's our first break of the day. It's going to be Palantir. Really strong name. We talked about that. I'm just going to give it back to 50, just a real quick trade, maybe 45. If we break back down below 45 on Palantir, then we can get out of Dodge. But right now, we'll see if Palantir wants to work long, Intel short. Those are the two trades that your boy's working with. So
there's a bounce happening here on Nvidia. It just tagged the pre-market low, 122.5. and trying to get back above. So I'm going to grab it. That was the first level. If it breaks that, I mean, there's 120 underneath, but those are the two levels I'm looking at. So bouncing off 122.5. Not a lot of movement. That's a bad wick at the open, so that's not some kind of crazy spike that went to 125. I'll be happy if it gets to 125. But not a lot of movement there just yet. AMC just dipped as well. So Nvidia pre-market high is about 30 cents from here. We'll see if we can get some out on the way up. But on the way down, obviously, because if I'm filled, that means AMC is going down into that 515 level here on AMC. That's where we like it to. You have some wicks. The whole price was right there underneath that 515. So we're into AMC looking for a bounce play continuation after that. What the heck? It wasn't an offering. Yeah, whatever. You guys do whatever. Essentially, they're restructuring debt. That's what it was. Right. So AMC on the dip buy, Nvidia on the dip buy, Crowdstrike. I missed the 65 bounce play. It would have given you $1, but I missed it, so I have to wait till the next one as it's still going down. Looks like 260 is going to be in play here for Crowdstrike. Wow, they really love to sell it. All right, we're going to take a little bit of opportunity to get something out on Palantir. Went to 67s there, 68s. We got 67, and here coming to 68 again. Let's see if it wants to go upside. I do have an offer at 70, and there it goes. So nice little move here on Palantir. Give me those 75s as we wait for that trade again at 75, and then maybe we can get going after that. I'm actually going to cancel that 75 fill, put a 77, and see if we can get that. We just missed a 77 fill. Maybe we can get a 76 fill. There it is. We'll get 76, and now 77 for your biggest trade right there for me. We'll wait to see if Intel
can hold it as well. But there goes Palantir one more time. We like those breakout trades, man. So when that happens, there it comes in. It's Palantir. And yeah, we're doing pretty good on that one, but not very well on Intel, as Intel's making its move right back up to the upside one more time. And like we said, if you believe in trades, man, put on shares. And that's exactly what we did, because otherwise you're kind of just like, we talked about this before, go in TMS, right? If you're not comfortable and you want to use a little bit less shares and you're not sure what you're doing, TMS is a good spot for us here at Real Trading. We obviously have an opportunity to trade whatever share sizes we're looking for. So this for me was a good one here on Palantir. Nice trading as we just continue to get some out on the upside. And we've averaged in a little bit here into Intel, so let's see if that one wants to dip. But man, oh man, was it a good one here for Palantir. I see likewise as well, good one there for Nvidia, as that's starting to go back upside for Neil right there. But it looks like it'll be a good day on this side. Just need Intel to go down.
Well, it's going to depend on our good friend, although I don't know how good a friend it's going to be, Crowdstrike, because I also bought it at 264 yesterday. I'll get to Intel, I'll get to Nvidia in a second, but Crowd just went for the bounce off 260, and it's looking like it wants to take out to 260 level. Underneath here, there's nothing. As I said, there's round numbers, and then there's $240. So every $5, there's some size there. I don't know if it's going to hold on. It does not, so we'll take an L on it. We didn't get the first bounce. Obviously, we missed out on it, but not much of one on the secondary. As you said, Nvidia approaching pre-market highs. There's 124. This is the high. It's yesterday's top on Nvidia. So as far as I'm concerned, it needs to punch through this, get to 125 even. Still looking for a dip buy. I was sitting in front of our support level. I'll probably pop that up to VWAP and see if we can get some continuation here on Nvidia. Didn't really get the long off of that support at 122.5. We got it back through the even dollar on Nvidia. AMC not really doing much. I mean, we got 517s. It's at 520, so it's not out of the money. It's not really doing a heck of a lot in either direction. And then AMD, we're looking for the patient fade. Well, it got up to yesterday's top and started the curl. So, I want to be on the other side of fades as long as it's underneath 157.5. This would be that first level here on Advanced Micro Devices.
And he always talks about not losing as much on your losing trades as you make on your winning trades. And I think that that's really something that I've changed a lot with right now. We'll be up double Palantir that we're down right now. I mean, I don't know where Intel's going, but this is a current trade situation that I'm trying to tell you guys about. We're in 2 trades today. Palantir, we like this break. We talked about it. We took it with a decent amount of shares, right? So that's going to be a stock here, but we're up double what we're up or what we're down, although Intel keeps going up. That could change. Could be 1-to-1 here. But here comes Intel right straight back up to the upside. So again, just doing some of that thought, right? Not losing as much there on this trade, but this trade could still be a problem. So we are green today, but we are fighting Intel right now as it's just moving straight up. I mean, it is also a day here for our friend Nvidia as that keeps on going. So that's giving me feels as well. All right, let's just start to look at this now. So we'll take another fill there on Intel, but at what point is enough enough? I mean, I'm thinking 33.20. We don't want to get too high past there. The pre-market high, 33.25. Maybe that's 33.30 though. Okay, I mean, I don't have a crazy amount of shares here. I do have a lot, but not any kind of day ruiner. I'm gonna wait for 33.30, I think, now for Intel. So a decent little reload right there on the short, giving us a short price of 32.96. And it's trying to come back in now. Let's take something out at O's if we're able to do that. But so far, so good here today as, we'll hit Palantir strong, and we will now wait to see if Intel can do that move back down. But it's Nvidia right now that's ripping to the upside there. Was my number one.
AMD's up there too.
Yeah, it was my number 1 stock yesterday. Should have been on it today. Good thing Neil was. What's up, A?
Some volume coming in here for Mammoth Energy. This is TUSK is the ticker for this one. Their subsidiary Cobra Acquisitions has announced a settlement with the Puerto Rican Energy Authority here, PREPA. Settlement proceeds are expected to be around $188 million. So settlement for its subsidiary is sending TUSK to the upside, guys.
I just went ahead and canceled. I had a Snapchat bid down at like 87, and it bounced off 90. So Snapchat did find a bid out in front, but I didn't get it, so it is what it is. I'm not gonna, if it goes back down, look for another curl. When it bounces off a level that's not mine, then I'm not that excited about it the second time through. I'll have to let it trade through that price. and then go on over to it. So here comes AMD off of yesterday's high. It's about 156 even, not exactly the top. It's like 06 or 05 or 06 is this high. Yesterday's high is going to be 156.10. So screaming to the upside is AMD. Unlike yesterday morning, yesterday morning I took it on this on the way up. This time we let it make a top and short it underneath the top. So a bit of a change. I think you should always do it. I should always strive to do it that way, but sometimes you don't always do that. VWAP sits at 155, so we'll look for a pullback into VWAP. Nvidia is now trailing out. It's close to the 125. If we can't hold on to the quarter here, that's right around yesterday's tops. I think we'll jam out of this, but we're screaming to the upside. So there goes AMD. Still nothing happening on AMC. Not a lot there, but Nvidia looks like it is the screamer to the upside. And Crowd did not bounce off the level that I thought it was going to be all even dollars. It ended up going to 58.5, kind of a random price. Yesterday we were getting those even dollar bounces, but it's through 58.5 on the way back up to VWAP. So unless it's a higher low, going to have to wait for something else to set up for me on Crowdstrike. That initial bounce off the even dollar level does not pay dirt. And Amazon is absolutely flying as well. So Amazon, Nvidia, those look like the screamers.
Yeah, we actually marked down here today, and get ready, man. I'm going to be putting out some more information on a few different things. But look at this 186 break. We talked about this Amazon level, 180 to 186, and it looks like it's trying to go through now. Breaking through 186 goes Amazon. Amazon go boom right now, back up to the upside. Palantir go boom right now as well. Now 30 cents upside on Palantir on big shares, big trade, therefore PLTR. We'll wait to see if Intel can settle itself down right now, though, here today. I'm going to be basically flat on all of this. There's 3 or 4 positive traders today, so good job there. Looking over at some of the names that have been hot here today. People continue to trade some Crowdstrike. That looks like that's going to be a good name for the floor here today. 260 bounce level looks like that held, so good little trade there, bouncing off 260 if you got it. And there it comes right now, Palantir right back up. Palantir just went for a little bit of a dip, duck, dive, dodge, whatever, down to the downside, which is what I'm hoping Intel does, as that can come back in right now to the downside. I don't know about this as the market gets heated up, and obviously Nvidia goes for a run there today as well. So in what was, my best stock yesterday, we should have looked at that. Unfortunately, we got a little bit excited. The problem was that we started the trade here. We should have just waited for this, but our average price is 95. I'm okay with that. I would have liked to have been short here at the 50 period, but a little bit of bad management there, I guess, goes for that one. Disney, obviously, we talked about that earlier as well. That makes that move down in and bounces completely off 90. So that would be a good little level. I was debating getting out of some more Roblox today because it hasn't been breaking that $41 level, and it's right here right now. I was looking at this yesterday. We had this move. I saw it today that it was all the way down here at 39 and change. I was like, oh God, like what I was looking at yesterday. That might be the top, but then it's battled right back. So we'll see about getting some of this out after the show, but Roblox I like. Let's see if Intel can come back in, man. I might just take a piece off here at like 03 if I can, or maybe even 04, just to take a little bit of pressure off. This just keeps on bouncing. We're now above VWAP, but let's get a tank coming in here for Intel. Gonna take a little pressure off so I can average back into this. So let's wait to see. And
market's north side of this 20,000, but we're at the overnight high. It's not really, we're not quite at yesterday's highs, but you are at the overnight highs, and it's testing that top. We trailed that. We said we'd trail Nvidia if it couldn't hold on to the $0.50. It didn't hold on to the $0.50. VWAP sits effectively at the next $0.50 level, but we're early enough that I think wait for the big support. If we're going to threaten back underneath, like that 122.5, a heck of a lot better. AMD wicked me out, got back in, played it to 155 again, 155 even, the short back in 155 even, but I'm looking at Nvidia for a dip buy. So Nvidia, channel up, holding above 122.5. That was that previous resistance level. Let's see if it bounces either VWAP, 123 even, 122.5. So on the way back in, gonna look for one of these levels to start to hold. Just a matter of being patient with it. And Tesla just went red with the market making fresh highs. Yikes. So Tesla doesn't get up to $258. I had $258 as a resistance, and then $250 and $246 for support on Tesla. Looks like we're screaming in at 250. I won't be sitting with any bids there. 246 is a different story on Tesla, but it's screaming and showing relative weakness. I mean, definitely weak relative to the market here, with the market pressing up through the high of the day. And it's Amazon leading the charge, up 2.5 points, back up to that 187. The 50 period on the daily sits right here. My eyeballs are squarely on Nvidia right now, but you can do a heck of a lot worse than what we're seeing over there in Amazon.
Yeah, I should start to look for some Nvidia too, as we have to wait for Intel to do something. Okay, so it looks like we'll be 1 for 2 here today, and probably give up a little bit more on Intel than we'll wind up making on Palantir. So again, you want to ask anytime, just tag me in chat. I'll let you know if I'm green, red, what the situation is on these stocks, individual stocks, whatever you want. Why is my chart still on Snapchat? Because I was looking at Snapchat. I'm still looking at Intel though as well. Snapchat tried to hold that 15. We said we'd have a look right here to see if it did want to hold it. Looks like it does. Feeling like Snapchat could be along here. But again, the market is, as Neil was mentioning, they're a little extended now. Not extended. I mean, it can go a heck of a lot more. But it's been a nice move up. And Snapchat's kind of hovering down here. So not really loving that relationship right there on Snapchat. So I was going to have a quick look at Apple up to 224, but it's ADR time.
Keep an eye on ADRs Pharmaceuticals here. This one has run in the past, currently trading higher, actually near high of days, announcing that it's advanced into the second cohort. It's already commenced dosing for this cohort for its alcohol use disorder treatment studies. So good look for ADIL. They do a float around 4.12 million shares, short float of about 4%. So this one definitely on watch here, guys.
All right.
Yeah, big movers across the board. That Amazon is intense. I'm looking for, again, sometimes you don't necessarily have the plan on something which turns out to be a runner, and you want to join a trend. If we hold 20,000 on the upside.
Oh my God, it did break 186?
Yeah, it broke 186.
Oh my God, that was my trade of the day.
Still looking for that dip buy on Nvidia, just can't really find it yet. But Amazon, if it does any kind of a dip back into maybe 185 half or so, I still think it would be good to go. So it's smooth sailing right now for AMZN. Just looking for some levels. We're still in AMD. Unlike yesterday, when we got wicked out at the top and it consolidated under, I got wicked out at the top and I did not get any of the shorts when it consolidated under. This time we were able to grab it. So I'm still in the AMD short if that's coming back in, along with Nvidia starting to pull back. So we're looking for that dip buy on AMD still. Wow, Tesla's still failing down into the 250 level. Snapchat, I know this is a name on the upgrade, pulling right back into that 1490. So it's still above previous resistance. Just want to see it show a little bit of strength here. Snapchat to the downside, but still up 1% overall.
Yeah, we just talked about that Snapchat level. I like those levels down there at 15. Oh, man. I mean, I did a write-up on that chart on Amazon, and I said if we could break 186, this thing probably moons. And I missed it. I missed this trade. We were looking right at it. You guys were like, Amazon's going. I was like, it's 185.50. We'll leave it. It's probably going to bounce off of 186. But no, it didn't do that at all. It kept going and going and going. So again, a good one there for anybody that hit that Amazon trade. More to come on where you're going to find key trades like that. Palantir. So we're about 15% left or so on Palantir. So out of the majority of that. And really just waiting for Amazon to settle waiting for Intel to settle itself down. But on that Amazon front, I am going to wait and buy some 186s if we're able to. So let's wait to see if that can come in closer to 186. Will be pretty sweet for AMZN. That's where I'm looking right now to see if we can get that. AMD is not really doing too much. I hear crowd in the background. I guess I can't catch Brankles anymore. This guy is just on fire right now. Great trade there for Brankles. Hit the sirens up right now. Like I said, there's just going to be a few positive traders, and this is a good move there for Crowdstrike. Good job there, Branks. Good job by also Obi in the background. Good trading there for Obi as well, as we'll wait to see what is going down right now with some of these stocks. So some good trades happening, man. Palantir is trying to bounce back as well for that name, and we're going to try to look for some more names. I mean, we had Snapchat on our mind. I might just take this here. No, it's back below. I was going to say, let me take that just in case. But that's okay. Like I said, we're trying to make, some real trades here, not just like scalping or smaller sizes. I want to see if there's a big level. It's getting to the point now where it might be scalp time. Like it's already 950. I wonder if a lot of these bigger moves have already happened. GM, what a crappy name, man. I mean, that name today getting hit real bad. Down 5%, no bids in sight right now for General Motors. So this is a name that's in trouble, man. GM looking, we said about down here into the 50 period moving average. This could be something on the daily. The daily on GM 50 period is 46.50. So you're getting real close to that one. And here we go, man. Intel just taking it out. I'm probably going to give this to 30s, but Intel getting way spicy now to the upside, not giving me very good feels as we are now short at 33. Intel's been a bad trade as it just continues to go to the upside. We should have bought dips in Nvidia instead. Palantir going back up, but way more shares obviously on Intel as we haven't been able to get anything out yet.
Yeah, and right back, not to the highs, but to the lower high on AMD as the market it just bounced off 20,000 again, so we're still trend back up here. Gonna grab the reload on the lower high, and it looks like, there it is. The lower high is about 155.66 or so. So if we break out from there, I have to wait till the next level up there. We're not at 157, we're underneath it, but I wanted to wait till it got up, showed lower highs, showed some weakness, but AMD now screaming into strength and breaking higher. Nvidia, oh, why did I say I wanted the bottom on Nvidia? Bounces pretty clean off of VWAP there, but you heard me say it. All right, well, it's still the opening range. We'll wait for it to get a little bit lower. Let's see if we can't get it down closer to 122.5. Nvidia doesn't seem to want any part of that as we're now screaming to the upside. Snapchat's getting close to 1480, about 10 cents away. Let's go over to the desk. We've got Adara.
Behind this Z-Tray here, AZTR, we have a market cap around $1.5 million, float of around 778,000 shares, so very small float, receiving some patents here from the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, granted and allowed. So AZTR here up about 533%, looks like it has halted a bit as well, so keep an eye on this one. And we are brought to you by Benzinga Pro. Are you tired of being late to the trade, always playing catch up in the market? Missing out on the big moves because you're too slow to the news? Benzinga Pro is your unfair advantage. Get breaking news alerts up to 30 minutes before everyone else, pinpoint exactly why stocks are moving, and join a thriving community of traders who share their strategies in real time. Ready to see how Benzinga Pro can transform your trading? Visit benzinga.com/pro and get a free 14-day trial.
Good partner there. I don't know why you can't say that part. All right, so we just heard her. That was pretty funny. There in the chat. Adara, you're doing a wonderful job.
Good.
No
doing
worries,
great. Doing great.
By the way, Spotify right there, guys. What did we write down? Dip buy into past highs of 330. So thank you to you in the chat that just brought that to my attention, because guess what Spotify's bottom was? 330, pretty much to the exact penny. So anybody took that. There you go again. Nice move there for Spotify. Uh-oh, Intel. Is your boy in the money now on Intel? Oh, no. This is going to be a good one here, Neil. Hopefully this one can go and work out for us. It's going to be Intel, man. Can we just go 2 for 2 right now? Good trade on Palantir. This one can't go red. And then here we go. Can Intel come back in just a little bit? And that would be real nice. We just got some nice takes down there. And I actually thought I had an O2. So let me put an O2 bid now. Get something out for some profitable trading here on INTC. Will it continue to go down? Oh, no. Here we go again, guys. Let's go, man. We're pretty happy one more time as Intel now faded out. So far, so good here on the Intel trades. Now, let's see where we can go with it. So I like it. It's already bounced off that. We should have waited for it. Can Intel get down to the downside here again today? So like I said, sometimes you have to be very, very patient. We were not very patient with that one. And there it is, man. Yes, sir. Let's bring it back in right now. Intel going right to PL2. PL1, Palantir, PL2, Intel. Let's go, man. Neil, this is going to be a good day here on the floor. Good job for everybody today. Wow, that was a relief there. Thank you, Intel, for bringing that in there. Remember what we said before? Shh about Intel.
Yeah, Intel, the dog of the market, at least. Well, this looks like it right now. Right back into the bottom. Snap's almost there, but my eyeballs are back on Nvidia. I want this. If it holds VWAP, VWAP's still the spot that we're looking for. We want to jump back into this trade, although we just lost 20,000. AMD's losing 155 with a 154 low. But I still think that short might work out into the low of the day. But Nvidia, it's a long till it's not for me, even with the market starting to pull back in here. So I want to be pretty patient. It's getting heavy here into 124 even, and I still look at this 123.5. We'll see if we can get a secondary bounce off the same level as before. And then the other thing here, Snapchat. Snapchat just made a bounce off of 1480. So we might have missed the first push. That only got you to VWAP. The second one incoming now. So 1483 is the low. We'll look for a bid off of that low. We wanted it to bounce first, then try the long in Snapchat. So it's made the bounce. Now we're just going to look for some continuation here on Snap. It was a gap up on an upgrade, not an earnings play. The earnings name, Spotify. I mean, Spotify's trying to fill in the gap, but not really doing a heck of a lot. There was a wick underneath 330. I liked it to 327 a little bit more than that. So Nvidia starting to pull back. We're going to grab a little bit of Snapchat if we can get the bid. And Nvidia, no, it's not pulling back. Still no Nvidia VWAP here, unfortunately for me. Yeah, that's going to kind of suck. We want to be back into this. We missed our first shot at VWAP. That's sort of frustrating here on NVDA. Still no bid on Snapchat. And Crowdstrike was a complete swing and miss for me the second time through 260. And look how good it was. Look how good it was. Right back through. I mean, it was my best stock yesterday, but we give about half it back today. And there was a chance to get back in on the way up through that $260 level as it continues to screw. I'm happy for the long-term account, but not happy that we weren't able to get back in. Yesterday, we had like 5 or 6 longs. Today, just the one.
So we'll, again, this is the kind of style of trading that we're trying to do, to show you guys trades that we like, put on shares, put on real positions, and see if it can go. So we had a big position, obviously, on Intel. We were like so happy that it came back down in. But again, that's what you got to do, make plays like that. So good little move there for Intel to bring that rate back down in. So that was a savior there. And I mentioned that too, right? I mean, you guys, we can talk about that. We talked about sort of some of the profitable names. Look to see where you trade. We talked about Palantir down here. But it just took off. So what I did was adjust the style. I mean, you got to be able to flip up your style, right? And we talked about taking that breakout. We did take that breakout. Not only did we take it, it actually went against us about 10 cents. So we all could have had a possibility to get that entry, right? So coming back in, let's take a piece out here as we continue to go higher. I'm still sitting at 27.70, but I'm going to offer some 85s here on Palantir. Or 75, sorry. It looks like it doesn't want to get that high. Let me offer some 71s as it's coming back in right now. For me, though, we still have the majority of our position right here. What we're holding is going to be on Intel. And, if it comes back up, we'll try to reshort it. But we did get out of exactly half of our Intel trade as it came right back down in. So we'll still hold on to that. We are going to be red on it if it continues to go up, right? So we got out of half of Intel. Let's see if that one wants to continue to work out. Starbucks up again today, but barely hanging on. We weren't sure about what this day would bring. It's pretty flat today. Nice move up, though. Let's see if we can take out this high, and then maybe we'll look to trade a breakout on the triple Qs or something.
GM's at the 50 period already.
Yeah, I know. That was 46.65, right?
I had 46.50. It doesn't, distinction without a difference.
Obviously.
It doesn't matter. No, it's literally right there. So, yeah, GM, they didn't like the call, obviously. It's getting to it's still trending to the downside. Let's see if it makes any kind of a bounce. Snapchat tried to fill in the gap. It's at the 90s. I just picked up 92s. But, I mean, this is where I said if it bounces off a level, it's the obvious one on the daily chart for General Motors. Man, they really hate this one. It's a complete fluke that I sold my Ford. I was selling my Ford shares in front of 15 for weeks. Like I had that order in forever. It's going to look like genius, but it's a 100% fluke. But I don't mind. I wanted to get out of that Ford position thinking GM was better, but I still own GM shares. So probably a net nothing for me on that. So back into VWAP here for Snapchat. VWAP's exactly at 15. The low is 1483. 1480 is the gap fill level. Kind of hard to see because I'm missing data on that chart. 1480, there's the highs the last couple of sessions, last 3 sessions, I should say. So we're looking for the dip buys in Snapchat. But all of a sudden, GM goes right on our radar, and it's still selling off. It just breached 46.50. It's got to bounce. It doesn't have to bounce anywhere. But this is that 50 period on the daily where we're looking for something. Want to see some buyers actually step into this thing. They don't even want it.
I'm going to
NVIDIA.
see about here. Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, there's only one company to own in the car space, and we've talked about that. I do own some Rivian, but I did get some out there at 1855. What's Rivian at now? 1680. Maybe I'll get out of some more of this in case there's a problem with Tesla tonight. But I'm okay with Rivian. We have such a good cost base down there at 11.25. We'll wait to see where that goes. Adara with numbers.
We actually had the Richmond Fed manufacturing numbers coming out here earlier than expected. Manufacturing index here, -17, lower than the previous of -10 and the consensus of -7. Richmond Fed manufacturing shipments index also lower than expected here, -5 compared to the previous -9 forecast of -7. We also have the Richmond Fed services index, +5 here, actually higher here than the previous of -7. And the forecast of -9. On the other side of things, existing home sales, we have these numbers coming through as well. They just came in. Existing home sales for June lower here than the previous and expected. We came in here at 3.89 million compared to the consensus of 4 million and forecast of 4.25 million. Existing home sales month over month, also much lower than expected here, -5.4% compared to the forecast of +3%. Let's see here. SPY not reacting too much to this, trying to push higher. We have both the S&P 500 and the Q slightly positive on the day on what's been a pretty big day for earnings. We have some earnings names we're going to talk about in a little bit here, but we also have Tesla and Google reporting tonight, so keep an eye on those two. Other stocks to watch, Spotify still up about 13%, though falling a little bit here from where we initially gapped up to. They did announce a 14% year-over-year increase in monthly active users for Q2. They beat earnings per share but missed on sales. GM as well here. This one now at lows of days down about 6%, quite the reversal. They beat across the board and they raised estimates going forward for fiscal 2024, but they delayed their 2024 Buick EV and they also delayed their EV pickup plant opening to 2026 as announced on the earnings call. So some earnings call announcements hurting General Motors, guys.
Yeah, it's like we said, I mean, sometimes the earnings numbers can come out there and nothing matters because they don't like some of the updates they got on the call. GM just bounced. It wasn't exactly at 46.5, but it just did this wick into 46. So first trade of the day on General Motors. Obviously, if you shorted it, you're absolutely laughing, but we're not short. We are into the long. Rivian got to VWAP. I just looked over. Tesla lost $250. Rivian did a VWAP retrace, so I did play that one off of VWAP. The General Motors Snapchat longs in here. Going to look for bounces off of this 46 now on GM. We'll try to respect it, but 6% down on General Motors is actually a pretty sizable move for this name. We'll see if it can bounce. I mean, 47 and VWAP at 47.5 are some pretty obvious targets. We let it make a volume bottom. Biggest volume candle of the day just happened into that 46. That kind of qualifies for a key level for me on GM. When you see that kind of a volume, looking for a turnaround, that can be a decent sign, but it doesn't mean it has to go. Cratering is what this thing wants to do.
Okay, so I took some NVIDIA there. We lost it at 124. We got out, but we're back into NVIDIA right now. Again, so yeah, I guess we're human. We do have a losing name on right there with NVIDIA, but let's see. This needs to pop up just a little bit. I wanted to give it to 122, or sorry, 122, 123. I don't want to have too many shares to give it to that low, but let's just see if it does want to bounce here off of the 200 period. That's right where we're at right now. So it could be a bouncing area. I am trying to get some more long down at 25. Hopefully, whoops, we just took some 38s there. Here it comes in right now. So watch out now. Here comes NVIDIA screaming into that 123.25 area. So we're in it now. Our average price 37s now on NVIDIA, trying to give this one some chance to get back upside right now. Taking advantage a little bit here of our friend Intel, which has been a good friend of ours today, despite it taking a minute to get going, but still a decent spot there for us on Intel. So we will continue to have a look to see if it can get higher or what. But NVIDIA right now, bigger position on right here for us. And let's just wait to see what winds up happening here. This is going to be a make or break morning right here on NVIDIA as we put on some shares. And then let's see if it can get back up there to the upside for NVDA. If you're looking for trades with size, here we go. This is one that we're talking about. Let's go. Maybe it can get going one more time right here, right now with NVIDIA. Go, baby. This is a good one here on NVDA as it starts to get ramped up to the upside. Your boy's getting hyped up right now because there it goes. It's NVIDIA, and it is fantastic. good trade right there on NVIDIA as we buy the dip and able to make that money back right there on NVDA. So yeah, about, about holding out for some lows. That was a good one there, but a little bit of a bump situation right there because that was a rocky road for us there on NVIDIA. So yeah, good trading there. I hope you guys are with me as NVIDIA was a nice, real nice pickup down there on NVIDIA. So so far so good right there. Woot woot. Ooh,
We're back.
That was a good trade.
Yeah, NVIDIA bouncing off of I see it bouncing off of a pre-market level of 123.25. I was looking at that evens. We're still in GM.
Exactly where we're long.
Second green candle, which is the only time it's had two in a row. But we got this GM. If we get up to 47, I think we scalp some out there looking for a VWAP retracement on this one. Snapchat is at temporarily VWAP and looking to trend higher. So we like 14.8. Let me just zoom out. But it's still trending downside. That said, I would love for it to hold VWAP, establish a stronger move upside, give us some higher lows to work off of. You got one bottom and one entry. I'd like to look for this to continue trend upside where we can find a few other levels in there on General Motors. Just want to respect it. Was that for me? Sure. Thank you very much, Randy. Appreciate it. Is it? I don't know. I mean, it could have been for sure.
Yeah, I'll take another one when you get a second, or I'll just get up and get it right now. Randy, we just absolutely annihilated this NVIDIA trade. Right now, we're going to be pretty good on this, man. We were long at 124 right there. It broke it. Then we went long off this pre-market bottom, and Neil just nailed it. Like the bottom was 123.25. We're long at 123.25 right there. So it's a nice move right back there up to the upside. So really happy with that trading. And then we've been battling Intel all day, but finally it comes back in. So short, then back in right there. Randy, don't look at that trade. That's not a good one. But we're still up on it, so we'll see. And then here's Tesla, Randy, into earnings all the way down to 248. So let's see if that can hold out. But right now, guys, we are smoking right here with NVIDIA. So let's see if this can keep on going back up there to the upside. You guys love real trading. We love real trading, and this is exactly what that is. You get a movement to the downside, a level that you trust, and you put on shares right there. So good move so far to see if NVIDIA can get back up. But Randy, I only have 20% left. So hopefully it can bounce back up. We made back what we lost in spades. We're now up 3 times what we were down on that stock right there. So let's now. I just looked at Rivian. I sold some at 18 and change. I had bought it at 11.25 right there. Yeah, man. I mean, we got some chips with dip down here, man. Some guacamole right there at 11.25. That was a good trade. That's where we bought. That's the first time we bought. And then it went all the way back up, got us out there at 18.50 and change. But Randy, I'd love to do all this, but I'm not the right guy to do this with because I got shares on a lot of these positions. Here goes Palantir right now, breaking through. Sorry, Randy, I got to deal with this position now. Palantir up to 28.99. Oh boy, as this is what happens. Like your stock, Patrick, like the stocks that you trade. And there it is, it's Palantir, and it's a humdinger on this one. So here it is, man. We're gonna try to run this town as my daughter's thinking about a new walk-up song. There's NVIDIA right now. We are almost $1 in the money. You guys want real trading? This is what this is all about right here. We're gonna go Palantir. We're gonna go NVIDIA, and we're gonna go strong on those names right there. Nice out for NVIDIA. I might take one more piece into the 80s. Trade, Neil, the strong names. We knew we liked NVIDIA. That was a gift. That dip, we took it. We took it strong. And NVIDIA, again, will be, well, today Palantir will be my number one stock, but NVIDIA is getting near there as well. We're only up about 25% on NVIDIA today of what we were up on it yesterday. So, yeah, buddy, today is another day that ends in Y.
They tend to all end in Y, so I've heard.
Weird.
It is a strange thing. I don't know, and if one of these days, maybe one of them won't. But like NVIDIA, it's an absolute rocket ship. I'm still looking for, like, my entry was down here at 23s. I thought we'd get a double tap at that one. But if we get another opportunity at VWAP, we'll definitely play into it. Got to get over to GM. We took the swing at GM at the level we liked. It could not hold on, but it's still showing a higher low in there. So I want to see this actually set me up a little bit better than this and hold a bit of trend. It was a heavy bid right where we got into it, and it was at 65 that we liked it. And then 46.5 that we liked it. It bounced off 46, still temporarily, still in a bit of a downward trend, but there's room to VWAP to get back into this one. So I still like that. I still like Nvidia on next available dip. I don't know if it's holding on to VWAP at this rate. And Crowdstrike is now closer to where we liked it short than it is to where we liked it long. If it breaks this 272 high, we didn't short this yesterday. My VWAP's off because there's some data missing in here, but this high at 275, this was a VWAP retracement. A VWAP retracement would now be a long on Crowdstrike at 266. 275 is that resistance spot that we're looking for a short, and we're pretty much right in at that level. Snap's still holding higher as far as I'm concerned. I want to see it hold 15. I want to see it hold VWAP, something a little bit better than what it's doing. Still to the downside, I want to say, is Snapchat and looking. I mean, it's lower highs. It's held a bid. It's in the money, but it's not exactly breaking. I just heard CCL in the back potentially breaking out there from Yannick. Don't necessarily know why CCL is up 5%, but CCL is screaming to the upside. We'll see if there's any news on it. But Crowdstrike, $3 away from potential short at 275. Still a ways to go. GM looking for the reentry back at that 60 level and still holding on to some Snapchat there. NVIDIA, I don't know if we're going to get the price that we want, but I'm still in patience mode with NVDA.
Yeah, that would be sweet if NVIDIA came back down to that 123. Me and Neil had the same levels there on NVIDIA. We took it a little bit early. I mean, 25 cents to me, fine, but we are in trouble right now with Intel. Intel's coming back up. So we did put on some more shares. We do not have the same amount of shares that we had last time. That banana, giving me that energy to get back into it. It's like, you know, after a workout, you want to have that banana right here. All right, so let's see if we get a move down to 16 right now, coming back in. Let's see what happens now with this trade. Intel, we're short at 16, so it's like, okay, maybe we could make a little bit more money than we think right now on this name. Thank you, Mr. Randy, for that. And by the way, we're in it right now. As we talked about it, we'll give you and see if we can do this.
Another one. Another one. Another one.
Intel on here, Snapchat 15. Let's see. We have enough money now to just kind of chill out here, see if this can work out for us. Snapchat, see if it breaks the low, 1485. Let's see if that can go right now. We're going to go so far so good here today for trading. I hope you guys are having similar success. Palantir has been an absolute monster, breaking through that 29 level. This stock, huge stock today. And then let's see if Intel can get back down in. Oh, yeah. We really like this one. What do you got up there, Adara?
Interesting look here for Carnival. So we actually had this move up here earlier, no real catalyst. Price target increase from $17 to $20. Then at around 10:05 a.m., we get news that Carnival is ordering 3 additional ships for its cruise line scheduled for delivery in 2029, 2031, and 2033. So a lot of this move actually happened before we got that catalyst coming out at 10:05. They do, though, have a short float of about 8.2%. So CCL with a small truest price target increase and then announcing these 3 additional ship orders, guys.
People want to know about, so I can just tell you right now, we don't do the leaderboard, but right now, Obi and I are dancing. So congratulations to Obi right there. People asking about him. So, all right, here goes NVIDIA still at this high side right now. And guess what? Oh, yeah. Good. Yes. Oh, yeah. Let's go one more time here with Intel right now, trying to come back in again right now. So let's see. We just shorted it again at a spot that we wanted, right? So, I mean, we can't be happy. I mean, we could always be happier, but not much happier than with the trading we've had so far here today. Everything's positive. Palantir, positive. We're going to go 1 for 1, 2 for 2, 3 for 3. The Intel one is pending. Would like to see this one get lower to really take some money. And then the position that we have right now that isn't working, so we'll go 3 for 3 with pending on Snapchat. I mean, this name has come all the way back down right now. So we're going to have to wait. I think it's probably worth taking a little bit here as maybe we're basing out, but I said already earlier today that I did not love this trade, and I feel like was picking at straws a little bit here, trying to figure out, you know, what positions we wanted. What Snapchat, we liked the story, we liked the upgrade, but stock wasn't really that. I mean, look at the pre-market. Relative volume was probably under. So not great right there, as there it goes back into the downside. I should have trusted myself and maybe held out a little bit on that one, but it was breaking through 15, thought there was a chance to hold it. Snapchat all the way down. Hey, man, even we can have a losing stock on board every once in a while.
Yeah, it's still, I mean, it's barely holding on to the lowest Snapchat. Would have loved to see a higher low at VWAP for a reload. You're now getting another consolidation sideways here on GM. At this point, consolidation breaks up, VWAP, consolidation breaks down. It's probably going to test that low here. And if you're wondering why, falling knife, earnings call, took this one to the downside there. I mean, the 15 minutes going to show you there's your support at 46. There's your 50-period moving average. But it's breached the 50 and now just holding on to this 46 level. As Sean just mentioned, Snapchat retesting the bottom. Why is it still jammed? Snapchat retesting the bottom, but just bounced again in front of 1480. So I'll look for the reload. As long as we're above 1480, it's previous resistance that's looking like the support level. But that is a trend down. That's lower highs. So you want to make sure you're getting good prices on a potential bounce back into the upside. And I did say CrowdStrike was closer to a short level for me than a long because you've already bounced well off $260 on CrowdStrike. I guess we should, I mean, I'm trying to be very patient here. I think it breaks out 272 and then look for a play into 275. There's always a chance it just simply pulls back right here. But I don't stick to my guns. You know, wait for the 275 level, had the bottom, but then gave it up. So that's already one fail on Snapchat. So I think I don't want to compromise on my price here, unless you take two swings at it. But CrowdStrike heading to that upside, I don't necessarily want a long here at 272. Not going to be taking that break. I'll be looking for a fade off of the breakout on CrowdStrike. Potential breakout. I mean, it might not break, and if it doesn't break, we don't short it.
Let's see what Snapchat does right now. So again, you know, bigger position, obviously, right now as it's fallen in. So we'll now wait to see what Snapchat wants to do in and around this level. I'm going to take another piece out here on Nvidia, although I love the name, I love the stock. It's just, it's bouncing around. We could have reloaded it down there, we didn't. So let's take advantage of this bump up here for us on Nvidia, right? And so we'll see if that goes. Come on, Snapchat, we're right back to flat on this position right now. Let's just see. Let's just see. I mean, this, again, we're trying to put on positions here that could be profitable. This did fall back in. We did average it out. This is our price right now. If you don't like Snapchat, you can get out right now for flat. Like I said, I don't know if I jinx this or not, but we're going to see right now if it can hold. We're going to get something out if we can get back up to 98s or so. And then if we can get something out high side through 15, that would also be great. So right now, Snapchat is holding out hope for me that we can get going upside. But the market's trying to figure itself out. And guess what's happening right now is we'll try to have a little bit more diamond hands as this comes back in into VWAP, into the 50-period moving average. And there goes Intel. Not everyone's built the same, and I think that you guys can see that. Everyone's going to have completely different strategies. Wherever you guys want to get out of Snapchat, do that. I'm going to see if we can get some 98s. We have a way big position right now, so we'll hold on to it and see if we can just get some prints out here, take away some pressure, and the smile gets on this guy's face. We just need to take out some 98s, and then we'll be moving in the right direction with Snapchat. Good dip buy opportunities. Look, there's the 50-period moving average right here. Let's see if we can get a fill. Hopefully it blasts through there, and we will be able to take something out on Snapchat. As there it goes, we get a little piece there through we got some 98s. There, looks like an ARCA printed. You might have saw that P. So now we'll wait to see here if we can get higher. That was just a real small position. We are now positive on Snapchat, Neil, going 4 for 4 right there today. So far, so good over here. How's your day going? It's 10:20 already.
Yeah, well, when my number one stock is red, you're going to be red. My number one stock was CrowdStrike. It was my best because it worked. But today, I don't mind the fact where I got it in. But yesterday I had 5 longs. Today I had 1 long on CrowdStrike. And the problem is it was only
so hard to stick.
There was only 1 long. Well, it had nothing to do with that. Because yesterday I got out and got back in 4 times. Today I got out and didn't get back in. I tried to get 99s on Snapchat. I have VWAP at exactly $15 on Snap. That's just a coincidence. But we got back in at pretty much the same price. I mean, I got 93s and not 92s. It did still have some 92s in there. But we're now in at 93 on Snap. If it breaks 15 again, I think you play it back into the previous high. But on the name of CrowdStrike, it looks to me, and let me just go over Crowd. It looks to me like it's starting to crest out a little bit here. And as long as that's happening, there's a good part of me that says this is setting up for a VWAP retrace. I said I only wanted it failing at 275. I'm going to stick to that. Yeah, let's not change plan. I mean, I don't want to be chasing a short out of FOMO, but this wick, when it broke 260, I was on the level 2. I saw it break 259. I went into the mode of, okay, let's look for the next level down. Maybe it's 57, maybe it's 55. It snapped back up, and when it did that move, I wasn't quite fast enough to get it back through the 260 because I was looking to put stop orders in at the next even dollar down to cover myself for a different long, and then just didn't grab it. Probably should have just taken the 261. But hindsight's going to be 2020. That's something I can examine after. So Snap's going to still be in. Nvidia still chilling around VWAP. Let's go to Adara with the small cap recap.
IWM a little bit stagnant here, running into a bit of resistance, but still near days highs for the Russell 2000 as it tries to break up to be about 1% up on the day. So good look for these small caps. Pretty strong volume throughout the day coming in here as well. Quite a few runners to talk about. A few actually more than 100% up on the day, including ADIL Pharmaceuticals, ADIL. As you can see here on the daily chart, this one has run in the past. Today running higher after announcing that it will be advancing to its second cohort in its study of its alcohol treatment use disorder. Treatment. So good look here for ADIL. We also have Azitra. This one up more than 500% right now, getting some patents here from the U.S. Patent Office. They do have a smaller float around 700,000 shares and a market cap around $1.5 billion. So AZTR absolutely on watch. Last but not least here, this one popping up with no news, SLRX. Solarius Therapeutics here, this one up more than 100%, no news, but they do have a float here of about 580,000 shares, market cap of around $918,000, so very small float and market cap for SLRX. Lots of parabolic runners today, guys.
Look, we're trying to do some new things around here, and I just want to show you something here from TradingView. So today, my trade of the day that we didn't get to was Amazon. We talked about this. 180 to 186. Here's the chart. Here's the breakout. And here's what I wrote on Notepad to go out. Looking to pick up shares at the bottom of the range, 180. That didn't come through. If you like the short, through 186. Interesting to attempt a long breakout as we get closer to earnings date on that 186. So there it goes. It's a monster move to the upside. We won't have to save that. But there it goes right there. I'm just embarrassed that I missed it. We had tagged it down right here. And there goes Amazon. Huge move back up to the upside. I mean, we're already cruising today. We will slip in. We won't mention about who's on the leaderboard or not if you guys don't want to, but we'll slip into that number 3 spot here today, which is good for me. We'll take it because we've had some iffy spots, but not this. What? We better recheck that leaderboard. There goes Nvidia right now. Nice move back up there to the upside, and it's official, Professor. There it is. It is your first dollar club, and maybe more coming through. Maybe even Palantir coming right now. Nice move there for Nvidia. As we believe in the strong names, man, this is going to be back-to-back days right now where Nvidia is near the top of the leaderboard. And there it goes again, Nvidia for me. Good trade there. And by the way, oh no, Intel, what's wrong with you? There it is. It is your number 1 trade idea here off the sticky note to go short on Intel. We were way too greedy and got way too short, way too early. But it's the smart trades, Neil, that wind up paying off. We talk about that all the time. All the time. You don't need to even be that smart to be a good trader, hopefully. Hopefully I'm an example of that. But you can see, man, it's a tough business. But when you're here, you got to find the levels that you like. You got to put on the risk. And there we go. We're having our best month in a minute. It's a good one. So let's go back over to the desk and figure out what up.
IPO to keep an eye on here. PGHL, this is Primera Group Holdings. This IPO valued at $6 million, 1.5 million shares. Initially offered at around $4 a share, ended up opening up here at $5.60. We've actually now halted 26% to the upside. It looks like it's gapping down. I'm seeing a theoretical auction price right now of around $4.90. So PGHL, in case anyone's following this, seeing a TAP of around $4.90 for PGHL, guys.
That's like the second small IPO that I've seen open up before like noon. I feel like maybe it's the bigger ones that they can't get right. So good for them. I was just asked, why isn't Crowd a short here? Well, because I wanted to see it break, either get to 275 or you see what just happened here on the chart? fail the break to the upside. So there's the wick, there's the breakdown. Want to try and grab it here again. I just felt like it was strong enough that we're going to not compromise and get 275. Instead, you're getting a level break to the downside on Snapchat. You just saw me try to grab it on the way back in there. Not going to be able to get it. Watch out for Snapchat. Snapchat is pulling right back into those 90s. Actually, check that. Yeah, right back into the 90s. It's just sitting there at 91. I'm long at 93. We're looking for that pullback. Hopefully, we're able to still pick something up. But that wick high reversal on Crowdstrike was essentially what I was going to look for as it just happened here live. I'm still looking for an Nvidia dip buy, and now I have to adjust to VWAP. But Crowdstrike here on a pullback. I want to get something in so we can play into VWAP, but I'm not chasing the 270. It's got to be above the 271 level here. So Crowdstrike, great move, up that 2.2%. Still want to see us fade back in. 20,000, still a bit of a thing. GM still going sideways, so that's doing a heck of a lot of nothing. Want the dip buy in Nvidia, got to be patient. I did want to show you guys while I'm waiting for Crowdstrike in case we can get into it. Tesla, 248 is the current bottom. 246 is the level I like for a little bit of support on Tesla. This double bottom was good support 3 days ago and 4 days ago, but yesterday's afternoon or late morning high of 246, that's the only place I'm interested in buying that stock. Yeah, GM is just still going sideways off this 46.50. I mean, that's a heck of a move down. If it holds this bottom, should be able to see 47, maybe even 47.5. But all it's doing is consolidating down here, which can be a good thing if it's going to make the next move up.
All right, I'm probably going to take double the position down at 1480 if we can get Snapchat, and then down here is 1470. So I feel like a break of 1470 is when we'll have to give it up. And then, yeah, like I said, man, we could definitely have a red name here today, and it could be Snapchat coming through one more time. I just again, you know, we have a policy here that we won't show our nets or our broker statement. But that's what I'm trying to tell you guys about share sizes and trades and, like, you know, being, you know, in the pocket or not or whatever. This month right now, 9 and 2. So 9 up days, 2 red days. And honestly, all like with digits behind them. It's not like one day we're up $5, next day we're down 10. These are like kind of not crazy swings. I am looking though now. My largest, so the biggest number for me is going to be a positive day, but my second biggest number is a red day. So it's like I had a great day back on, it looks like the 9th of July. That was my biggest day of the month. And then my most red day of the month was the very next day. But we were still 20% higher on our green day than our red day, which helps. And then we went on a run of 3 or 4 in a row. Then we lost again on the 15th. And since then, now we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, including today, 6 positive days now. Or this will be our 5th positive day, sorry, now to put us at 9 and 2 for the month. Of course, you can ask us anytime you want, any questions like that. And if we're comfortable, we'll answer them. Of course, that's any one of us. Okay, Snapchat, Palantir, Nvidia, they're all in the money right now. We were just pretty lucky there. We talked about Intel coming in. Now, I want Intel to absolutely tank here, but Neil, it's been strong. It's only down 1%, which I know is like not strong, but it's not getting hit. Anyways, it's in like, yeah, it's like in a 20-cent range here. So we'll have to play the tops and the bottom. My target right now still is to get out at 30s. I don't think we'll average back in now. 1 time, 2 times, and then now basically resisting the drop through 33. So as we get wiser, hopefully we're getting a little smarter as well and starting to take a lot of these names out. I mean, look at Nvidia, like a glove, comes right back up. I mean, today on Nvidia, we have the bottom is the open, but we have the bottom since 10 o'clock and the top since 10 o'clock. So you got to try to look for ranges, especially in a market, as Neil just mentioned there, range bound, right?
And well, trending is what Nvidia is doing now.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, so I just got back into Nvidia, and at this time, like after 10 o'clock, I've been looking at, obviously you want to go long, strong stocks and short, weak stocks in a general sense. Sometimes you're going to be bottom picking. Crowdstrike was a bottom pick. That would have worked. GM is a bottom pick right now. We'll see if it works. But higher lows and very cleanly higher lows on the same plane here for Nvidia. off of VWAP. So if it loses 123.60, I'm looking scalp trade off of this trend. If it loses that, wait for the bottom on NVDA. Crowdstrike, as I just mentioned, oh goodness, why is Blue Ocean always the first thing that comes up there whenever I pull up one of these names? But Crowdstrike, I don't think we get this chance. You know, I was still sitting on the offer, 271.50, looking to pick this one up for a VWAP short. If it pops back up, it went all the way to 269. If it makes a move all the way back into 272, let's just wait to see if it does the same setup for another wick high. General Motors earnings were good. I mean, General Motors earnings across the board. Everything about it was positive. It doesn't matter though. At the end of the day, it's still in a consolidation, 6% to the downside. I just added to it, and I'm still looking for 47 and 47.5. I think once it starts to show me a little more strength, I might start to consider like maybe scalping some out in front of 47, but I'm just letting it go sideways in here. So Nvidia is the only new entry. Snapchat, I wish I could tell you Snapchat was doing more. The first bounce was a little faster than this. Now all of a sudden Snapchat doesn't look as good. So it's about to press this this opening range bottom, well underneath pre-market lows, but still holding on to previous highs here on Snapchat. Something happened today in the crypto world. What was it again? Oh yeah, we had the Ethereum ETFs coming to market. So let's get an update on how they're doing with ADR.
I have the Ethereum USD relationship up here, ETH USD. Bit of a topping tail candle. We tried to wick up here into that previous day top of around 35.20 before falling back below here now around 34.70 for ETH. Some analysts here saying, according to, as reported by CBC, some analysts saying that this could be a bit of a weaker open than what we saw with all that anticipation for Bitcoin, spot Bitcoin ETFs. But Ethereum spot ETFs, about 5 of them opening here today. Not too much happening. A little bit of not a sell the news event, but not as much of an event as was necessarily anticipated for these ETFs. In the world of crypto, though, we did have an upgrade from Morgan coming through for Coinbase. So some things definitely to talk about in that space. Ethereum, though, a little bit more muted. Bitcoin pulling down here, getting that 68,000 area as a bit of a top. This is our second day to the downside, though. A bit of a bottoming tail candle here, contrary to the topping tail candle we saw in Ethereum for Bitcoin on the daily chart. Right now, just below that 67,000 level. We have Ethereum again here, slightly up on the day around 3,400. But the rest of these names a little bit weaker. We have BNB down about 1%, Solana down almost 1%, Ripple down about 1.3%, Doge and Cardano down about slightly more, about 2.33%. So lots of weakness in the non-Bitcoin and Ethereum names here, though everything a little bit more subdued today, guys.
For that one, we have a new position. We have Tesla. We're long right here. Starter position. And again, we'll see if it can go upside right now. Tesla, we're just 40 cents in the money. That's it, my guy. Right over there. We're not getting too excited, Sharif. You know, this is what it is. We do this all the time because you know what? There's 50 cents, Neil, and we'll take it right there again, man. Oh my. I mean, what else are we supposed to do? We're pushing keys. We're getting winners. We're putting up numbers right here. We already talked about what we've been doing. I don't have my sunglasses. They're on the other side. I'll get them in a minute. Right there. I'll take these ridiculous things off. All right. So again, it all started early. It was not all a dream because these trades that we're putting on is actually reality. And right there, nice move on Palantir from 28.60 up to, there we go. Yeah, we're dancing. Adara's dancing up there. We like that, Adara. Thanks for the support that we have around here because as you guys can completely see, trading is not easy. I'll put on trades. Yeah, amazing, right? Amazing to think about that. As again, we'll share these journeys with you. I mean, like I say, this is why I'm going over some of the numbers, some of the months. And when I have bad months, I'll tell you about those as well coming through, right? But that's why I'm telling you, so far so good this month. What we've been doing has been putting up. And this is the whole point of integrity, being honest and talking about some of the trades that we have on, telling you when we have bigger positions, telling you where our outs are and all this stuff, letting you know that appreciate that. Letting you know that so far here today, it's going to be a big day, right? I mean, we've talked about that. Up on Nvidia, up on Intel, up on Palantir, up on Tesla, down on Snapchat right there. So we'll go 5 and 1 right here today. That's how we trade. That's how I look at things. And then when I talk about, where are we with our net wise as far as that's concerned, not a huge day today, obviously, but we're pretty happy to be green. We just get a little reload there on Snapchat. We told you where our stop is, breaking through that 70 level right down into here. I just don't believe that we're going to get that low right now. So we could here lose our 15, 16 cents on Snapchat. Let's see if it gets back going to the upside. If we can get like an 90, 95 area to take a little bit out of this, that's great. We are long right now at 1486 on Snapchat. So everything else is very red today. I mean, look at that Tesla reload. I just got some out right there. I'm looking to buy more. If we can get into the dip, I want to buy more Tesla. But for right now, stock of concern for me is going to be right here, right now, and that is Snapchat. Join us in 10 minutes when Mr. Jeff Mendel will grace us with his presence. Allegedly.
We'll see what happens. I mean, it's a big day for the ETFs, obviously with ETH. So we'll see what's going on with those. I share for myself the concern. Snapchat 1480. I mean, that was the line. I didn't call it the Alamo. Like the Alamo on a stock is if it's at like the actual like bottom. But this was if it's above that number, I can be long. If Snapchat is under that number, I don't want it till it's back above. And it's like an over-under game for me. That's where I want the strength to be. And I feel the same way about AMC and that teens. So we took AMC off the teens. It couldn't hold on to the previous high, whatever you want to call it, that whole price as well. It just crept back up to VWAP, and I re-enter kind of on the same basis. So AMC, we take the hit on the first long, but on the way back up, ends up holding 507. So hold on to that $5 level and working back into the upside is AMC. Snapchat still working itself out. GM's trying to go. It's doing its best. It's like very slowly grinding higher off of that 46.5 level with 46.07 still the bottom. A bunch of small movers that are absolutely ripping. One of those is, and shout out in the chat there, I just saw Bonkzilla mention HIMS to the upside. HIMS, squeeze type name. You guys all know this GLP thing going absolutely nuts. Still a good bounce off this $20 level for HIMS. This is a pretty clean breakout. There isn't even a red candle on this chart since the open. This could be a patented like VWAP retrace into $21. $21. That was the breakout on the daily. $21 looking like a decent dip buy price. But my eyes are on Snapchat, GM, and now back into AMC. As we'll see if this one can finally start going here. GM's about 15 pennies in the money. I'm sitting at 25 for the first take. Not the level, 25 cents in the money. It's in the 60s right now. We're looking for about 75.
All right, nice. All right, good trade there on GM. Let's see if that can get back to the upside and put some wins on the board right here for GM. All right, so Nvidia right now has come back in. We have less than 10% of our position on this one, and honestly, I don't really have any reloads. You can reload right here. I mean, the NASDAQ just turned red, so for me, I'm kind of thinking about it, but I'm like not in love with it. Right here on a possible reload for Nvidia. I just, like I said, not absolutely thinking that this is a great spot, but if it comes back into 123, maybe. My stop on these, actually my stop canceled because I have such little shares left, but my stop was going to be 123. So let's wait to see if that does come in. I mean, obviously as this is pumping, we're getting Intel to make a move down. I mean, we're hoping that would happen if the whole tech chip space goes southbound for us. That would sort of help us if Nvidia and Intel both move together. But I have right now, just to let you guys know, I have 4 times, and again, you can always ask me this, I have 4 times the shares on Intel than I have on Nvidia. I mean, so if one can move, that'd be great, but it's gonna move 4 times the move anyways. So here comes Nvidia pulling right back into this level. I feel like it's broken, like it's now down below some of these key levels. So what I'm going to do right now is take a piece out if we can get a bump back into the 40s. Otherwise, I'm going to put my stop in right now to break 122 or 123. If it breaks it, then we're out. We'll lose on our last 10% and go ho-hum as Nvidia is still a monster trade. And just to let you know, it's pretty much perfectly like my net. I have 10% left, and this hit will drain 10%. So that's good. So it worked out almost perfectly there on a ratio for Nvidia right now, hoping that it does make that move back up though, because guess what just happened right there? Almost a perfect hedge. My net's not even moving. We just got Intel we just got a 97 or something down there as that just flushed in. So that was our 98. So that was a good fill. So let's just see if Nvidia can hold right now here. I don't know if it's going to, but 123 right now, not averaging back into it at all. Snapchat's trying to go. Here it comes back up to 87s. And like I said, the shares that I have are big, so I'm going to just take some out here on Snapchat if we can get some 87s, 89s, and then hold it all the way back to O's and see if that one wants to work out. And oh boy, that hold on Nvidia, cash money right there on that hold. Let's see if we can get out at 31s there to save a little bit. So we take advantage of the dip and get hit on Intel low. And then there it is right there, bang, bang, bang. This is the kind of trading that we're doing here at Real Trading and live for you on the show. So there it is, man. There's the 123 hold. Now we have 5% left. Now if it breaks, it'll be not even a hit. Let's go over to ADRA as we just hold out hope. Please, Snapchat, make that move back. And then when we get back from this, we'll tell you what's for lunch.
Not a lot of overwhelmingly positive sectors today. The one exception to that is going to be the finance sector. Lots of green names here. We also have a little bit of strength coming through in technology services, some strength here in Meta, Microsoft, Oracle, and CRM. Even Crowdstrike actually up on the day as well, which is a bit of a change of pace there. They also did get a downgrade this morning from HSBC, but some buying from Cathie Wood's ARK Invest. A little bit more muted here on electronic technology. We do keep an eye on NXPI here and TXN, both trading lower. NXPI had earnings yesterday, a bit of a disappointment in terms of guidance, and TXN, Texas Instruments, actually reports tonight. We also have here consumer services a bit weaker. Comcast trading lower after earnings. Disney dropping here as well. Commercial services pretty red. Keep an eye on for Visa reporting tonight. Consumer durables red with Tesla earnings ahead as well for tonight. Lots of earnings on the watch, guys. Energy minerals red. A little bit of weakness here as well in transportation with another earnings name running things here. It's going to be UPS. Keep an eye though in retail trade. We actually have Amazon outstandingly strong here. Could not find any stories on this, but Amazon, AMZ outperforming an otherwise pretty muted sector.
Yeah, absolutely. And while we were just away, GM got 247 and right back to 46.5. So pretty clean move. Unfortunately, it doesn't put in a higher low just yet. So whether we reload it, it did a long consolidation at this price. If it can do that again on a higher low, that's worth the reload. But as fast as you were getting to the upside there for that 50-cent move, we're right back into the downside. Snapchat lost that 1480 level. So for myself, at the end of the day, Snap goes into the level. First bounce good, second bounce no good. It has to hold. It's like the over-under. It has to hold back over 1480 if we're going to get back into this. But Snap, the second time through, no good whatsoever. Absolutely still nothing on AMC. It's just going sideways over there. And now NVIDIA. This is what I was waiting for on a dip buy, which was an actual hold of 123. I want to see things hold for a couple of minutes in here. And I'm seeing a little bit more strength off this 123.
Guys, there it is, man. It is Tesla, and it is a monster trade again for your boy, Neil. It's another dollar club. While Neil was talking right there, we put $1 on the board on Tesla. So this is what we're doing. We talked about that over and over again, trying to put up some numbers. That was a good one there for Tesla. Huge move off 248. We talked about it. It's another one right there, but who cares about that? What's for lunch? All right. Today's menu is citrus roasted salmon, honey steamed green beans, biryani style rice. Have a great day. That is what's for lunch. All right. Tesla, 70 cents now in the money, starting to go. Intel starting to bring it back down as well. Let's go. Palantir not doing anything. And Snapchat putting your boy to sleep a little bit. I know you got out of yours. We're going to wait. We talked about 1470 coming through, but this could be a day changer if it does go to the downside. I mean, we are trying to hold out for that level down here, as now it's almost like 75. Maybe we got to get out if this breaks 75. where the 50-period moving average is there on Snapchat. So our sticky note, we will have one loser on board today. My bad on that one. Let's see if it does hold, though. Breaking through 75, looking interesting here for Snapchat. So far, so good today. But yeah, I mean, that's what trading is all about as we continue to show you sort of the ups and the downs, as you can clearly see here on the desk with our trading. So good day, 10:45 coming through right now. 15 more minutes until we give it over to the midday show, where they'll be talking about gaps and breakouts and breakaways. And hopefully my daughter gets a lot of breakaways. You should see this girl on the ice. It's absolutely, makeups and breakups. Yeah, well, she won't be dating anybody. Break that up immediately on that
Baseball
one.
bats and shotguns.
Yeah, definitely. No, I'm just using my fists. I've already been told that my fists are almost a weapon themselves, so I'm not going to use any firearms or anything like that. I actually don't have a carry license. All right, so right here, 14, but all my friends do, so don't worry about that. 1475 coming in right now for Snapchat. Let's get ready to see where we go now. Nvidia, Palantir, Tesla, Snapchat, your boy on one more time. Make sure you do subscribe right now. Immediately subscribe to all of this because otherwise you will miss all of this. But we're back here every single day except for Friday as we enter into another tournament. It should be a lot of fun. 2 more tournaments just in Royal York. So it's right here if anybody wants to come see the High Park girls hopefully win the all-girls Ontario it's not Little, it's OBA tournament. So we coached that. We had practice tonight. I was checking to see if there's rain.
I don't know. My daughter's playing tonight. Hopefully, I really hope there's no rain tonight. They're looking forward to the game. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to coach for obvious reasons with the Achilles. So we should have gotten into. We didn't get into Crowdstrike. I'm now out of. All right, let's go over to GM for a second here. GM is retesting that bottom. There's the hold one more time on General Motors. It's got to zoom way in for you to be able to see it, but it's holding on to 46.50. So there's another bounce off $46.50. Gonna jump back in here, see if we can grab this. Play into VWAP is the name of the game, but it's resisting 47 even as we speak. So we'll see what happens with this bad boy. But GM already down 6%, and the market pulling back in. It could just be a case of General Motors has fallen enough, and they decide that that's going to be enough for it. And if it goes sideways, that's a good thing when the market's going down. So we're looking for it to make a consolidation. Here it is on GM. It is catching a bit of a falling knife, but now all of a sudden starting to look a little bit stronger here. Tesla, not really looking at that one. It was AMD. No, it wasn't AMD. It was Nvidia. Got to go to Nvidia. It's trying to bounce off this 123 level. It just wicked underneath. 122.5 or retake this 123 even, but which it's trying to do right now as we speak. But I just heard in our ear, we have our good friend from the OTC markets, Mr. Jeff Mendel, on board. Jeff,
gentlemen,
how's it doing, brother?
Good. How are you guys?
Well, the smile's on the face today. Obviously, some big things happening in the market with earnings as well. But as you know, a lot of people talking about the, that fly is still in the building. I got to get my chopsticks out. I thought I would do Mr. Miyagi on it. No, but the first day of trading for a lot of these Ethereum ETFs. So just wanted to get your thoughts on what you think that's going to look like going forward for the rollout. Not all of them trading day one, but some interesting things happening there for crypto land. I know that's big on your plate.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of a bittersweet day for us at OTC markets. So, we've talked about it a ton in the past. The Grayscale Ethereum Trust, ETHE, traded on our platform for years. And, it's kind of how they got their start, with GBTC, Ethereum, and then some of the newer ones like Solana and everything like that. So, so today, Ethereum moved up to NICE ARCA. And so basically that kind of all like triggered, from corporate action standpoint, right?
Triggered,
so essentially, yesterday was trading on OTC markets. Today it moves up as an ETF. So I think it's a, overall it's a really great day for any crypto enthusiasts being able to trade this thing in spot ETF. Obviously, would have loved to see it down here still, but we're going to see more. as they kind of come up more ETFs, just like we saw with GBTC. Remember, this isn't the first time that Grayscale has brought a product up from OTC markets into the ETF land. So time will tell, but I expect something similar to what we saw with GBTC.
Yeah, and I think the important thing is, at the end of the day, you guys were there first. And I think that's what sometimes we sleep on. I mean, a lot of traders will sleep on the things that are available out there. But in terms of like volume, what's moving what's moving in here today? And I've seen an absolute, for you guys, I've seen an absolute ton of names that are doing these reverse splits. It's like they're just teetering on the precipice. But we saw that happen. Everyone always leaves things left for dead. We saw this happen with Luckin, and then ended up being a great long over in the OTC markets. And then we always like to talk about the sleepers. And the sleepers, to me, are some of the Asian names that you're going to get to trade on earnings, like the Nintendos of the world, BYDs of the world. So what's the volume leader? What are you looking at today? What is hot on your market? I know Berkshire had some news selling some BYD, so that's been moving a bit in here. But can you tell us what's on tap for you guys, or what's the big play today?
So I don't know if it's still a play right now, but you mentioned Berkshire. Also, you were talking about Tesla right before I got on as well too, right? And so BYD has an ADR that trades in our marketplace. It's BYDDY. So if you want to take a look and jump in there, it's down almost 4% today right now. So after like I said, Berkshire. Also looking at Tesla, no surprise there. But there's a ton of participants that are trading this thing. It's only a 2-cent spread right now, 2-cent spread on a $60 stock. So the market is there. Been a decent amount of trades, decent amount of volume in this thing as well too. So that's BYDDY. You can take a look at over here at OTC markets.
Bring up.
So a couple more. You mentioned Luckin Coffee. That's up almost 2% today. LKNCY, a few cent spread, trading at around 21 spot 59 right now. So another name that you can look at. I want to shift back to some of the Grayscale products that we were talking about as well too. So Grayscale has a Solana-based trust. It's GSOL. It's I think the NAV on this thing is like $68. It's trading over 500 right now. So definitely there could be some interesting opportunities over there. It's down a couple percent today, but don't sleep on the other crypto names. You can trade them. You can trade them still here on OTC markets as well too. That's GSOL, the Grayscale Solana Trust.
Everybody's, hey Jeff, how's it going, my guy over there? Did you close on that property yet we were talking about?
Oh my God, yeah, it's
a story.
Always a headache.
Okay, we'll talk about it off camera. I just wanted to show your website because you just talked about most active, and this is a website, Jeff, that honestly it's one of the 20 tabs I have open, which is actually pretty good. Right there, you're the only sort of website that I scan for activity on the OTC market. So I want to congratulate your team over there for putting this together. You can sort by trades, and I think that that's something that's really, really important to do. It's a light trading day today, as you mentioned, obviously heading into earnings and all that kind of stuff. But, just some names. There's that 10-cent Luckin, BYDDY. I just wanted to bring this to everybody's attention. It's otcmarkets.com. Go to that market activity, and I want to give a shout out to you and your team over there because that's a great website. It's one that I use pretty much every single day to scan for some hot names over there on this OTC side of things. Anything about, we want to talk about the closing auction? Are you guys pushing that out? Anything about that? Some increased volume at the close for you guys? Any sort of topic around that do you want to discuss right now?
So actually a couple things. So first of all, you mentioned that most active page. And so today at the top is this symbol AKEMF, Alaskan Energy Metals. And so, a little shout out to Canada. This is actually a Canadian listed stock. that is trading here in the U.S. as a foreign ordinary share. And so, it's a great way, if you don't have direct access to Canada, you can trade a lot of Canadian names here on OTC markets. And so, this thing is traded, it's one of the most heavily traded names by, activity here today, AKEMF, Alaskan Energy Metals. So, we don't always talk about it a ton on the show, but great example today. As far as new things here at OTC Markets, we are actually very close to rolling out an overnight trading session. So
Nice.
8 p.m. to 4 a.m. for all ADRs,
Right.
Canadian F shares, grayscale names. Definitely something to kind of keep an eye out. It's already, they're already doing it on the listed side, right? So there's a venue out there that allows people to trade U.S. equities overnight. And also in a lot of parts of the world, it's during their daytime too. So keep an eye out for us. We'll have more to kind of share on that in the next couple of weeks. But 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. OTC trading session.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting to bring that up too, especially when you talk about some of those other crypto names being able to trade, in the evening, get in and out of your positions if you're holding those. So I really do like that. Was there a timeline for that? Did I miss that? Or that's maybe second half of this year or into next year?
So actually, we're looking to do this sometime in the next month or so. So I'll have something official. We can send it out to you guys pretty soon. But it is on the horizon.
Well, we'll have to talk to our little compliance guy there to make sure that we can trade overnight, as you know, Jeff, as you and I, and we'll all laugh about that one as we know who exactly that is. And I don't know if that's going to happen, but I like that for the rest of the world here.
Yes.
Everybody trade OTC markets, get that going. Make sure your broker does support this market. So, Jeff, the Cowboys going to be a team this year or what?
Oh my God! Well, first of all, how many games are each team going to be playing this year? Are they going to move it up to 18?
Eventually, eventually.
Maybe,
Not
but
this year, right? Next year, right? I just saw that thing flash across my screen earlier, but
oh my God, we got to make more money.
Couple of extra interceptions for Dak to be able to throw on the year. I think you go to 18 game schedule, and I think that'll
good
be
last year. Dak had a
Dak had a fantastic year. I wish nothing but ill will to the Dallas Cowboys. But no, I kid, of course.
Come on, Neil.
You guys are going. I think Dallas is going to have a bit of a disappointing season this year. I mean in an honest sense. I think they had a lot of things go. They had a lot of things go right for them last year.
Yeah.
And they have zero running game. Counting on Ezekiel Elliott doesn't make a heck of a lot of sense. Like, to me, if you're betting on Ezekiel Elliott to be your lead running back, that's like saying I want to lead my
I'm trying to be friendly here.
No, I'm
trying to be friendly.
I'm trying to be honest. That's like leading your EV portfolio with Lucid or something like this instead of getting a real horse.
A running game to give the defense a break. I will say that. So,
That's true. Look, if I had an EV name that I would like to support, it would be BYDDY. BYDDY would be the one that I would take. All right, it's Jeff Mendel. Look, I have to explain to everybody that we're absolutely crushing the futures right now. So let me get to that. Jeff, thank you so much for coming on today. I know you were a busy guy this morning. Thank you for finding time in your day to do that. And we'll discuss, that overnight trade. And I think that's going to be super interesting. And I want to thank you guys over there at OTC for doing that. So, Mr. Jeff Mendel, until we meet again, my good friend.
Thank you, guys.
Ciao.
Good seeing you.
All right, that's Mr. Jeff Mendel. And guess what? I've been telling you guys from time. You guys wanted a futures trader on the show. All right? Boom. There it is right there. We have a couple entries on the TQs. It came right in. And guess what? It is now right up there on your top P&L name. So we'll props it up right there for this trade. I like it, man. I like the futures trade. We've talked about this over and over again. Now this is 50 cents in the money. Off the bottom, we have the bottom. If you're trading futures, this is 50 handles now in the money on the TQs. Here we go, baby. Neil, it's a big one, man. This don't stop. Nothing stops. We'll do the interview and we'll trade. The only thing that did stop and got stopped out was Tesla. That is now $1 in the money, but we'll take a little small hit there as it goes. But right now, it's the TQQs that is making this guy happy. Nice move to the upside right there on this name. And by the way, have some faith in your names. We talked about this earlier, right? Thank you again for Jeff for coming through. And I apologize for the passion. I'm just trying to show you guys. I mean, because we always talk about how hard trading is, and it's just like, together we can do this. There it is right here, Intel. It was our #1 name for the short. Possible short opportunity below 33.50. Let's see if it wants to go higher. We were not patient with it early, okay? But we were patient with it late. We trusted ourselves. Adara's talked about this. We've all talked about this. Have confidence in your trades. And there goes Intel right back in. And we just took a piece out at 88. So, I mean, it's going to be a good trade for us today. After all of that, we were like, oh man, Intel, oh man, Intel. And it turns out that it does wind up coming in. So sometimes you got to wait for trades to happen. And if it takes us all show to do it, then that is what winds up happening. Good trade there. And we are now out of about half, I believe, of this TQQ fill. It goes from bottom right back to the 200 period moving average. I'm getting another piece out. So far, so good right here on the futures. But it just bounced off 19.2. Can we now bounce up through 20,000? That's the next area.
That level, we had broken up and down 20,000 at least half a dozen times this morning. So it's not like that. It's a good level. I feel like it's 30, 40 points above it that really matters on that 20,000. Nvidia bounced off. It's 11 o'clock right now. Nvidia bounced off 123. We got out. It wicked it. I just jumped right back in the trade. I like it. If we're breaking this area, I wanted the long down to 122.5. So it's either here or here. Breaks there, get out. Holds here, jump right back in and a play into VWAP. AMC is still chilling right at like 5. I have 518. It's still at the 510 level. So Nvidia now bouncing in. But let's talk a little bit more about gaps. We'll be back at 2 o'clock, but you've got the professor, you've got Adara, and you've got learning to trade. Go get them.
He's doing our move.
Right?
What is up, beautiful people?